practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The psychedelic jackets on the record albums have their own hidden messages.
Special question. We don't want you to smoke genetically modified ganja. We want you to smoke the real thing. We want you to smoke the natural herb. Some call it marijuana, some call it sensimedia, some call it lamb's bread, and some people call it ganja.
Welcome to another edition of the Adam Dunn Show. I am your host, Adam Dunn. And we have a very, I wouldn't say special because we don't think this is so special, but we have an important episode, I should say. We're going to be touching base with a bunch of people in NorCal that have all been affected by this incredibly intense fire. It's the biggest thing that's ever hit NorCal or California in general. And a lot of breeders and a lot of growers are losing everything they have. It's devastating, and I think if anybody listens to my show, they've known that I had a fire too. It was a completely my fault fire. I have nobody else to blame but myself. But just it doesn't matter once you get burned down like that and lose everything. It's mind blowing because you have these you go through these stages, and I think everybody that we're going to talk to is a week, like 5 days into this, and so it's still super fresh. We're going to have Sub, because originally the show was going to be Sub Cool and me hanging out, and now that he's reeling from this situation. I talked to him about an hour ago. Amazingly good spirits considering what's going down. I think a lot of it's when you lose everything, every little thing you find or you remember is also super important. You're like, oh, I'm so glad I have that, even though it wasn't even that important to you 10 minutes earlier. But it's just because of the fact that, you get into that weird situation. So we're going to have Sub on. We're going to have John from Limpa Farms on. Same situation, lost, I think, everything. We're going to find out more. Gabby from the Garden Spout in Santa Rosa, his house completely gone. I don't know about the shop situation. We'll find out more about that. Going to have Tim Blake on right away, I think, and he is the organizer of the Emerald Cup. Everybody's wondering what the fuck's going on with the Emerald Cup now because, Santa Rosa, we've lost hotels. It's devastating. My sister lives there too, and she was lucky because the house that she was going to buy a couple of years ago, she decided not to. She kind of, I don't know, maybe I don't want this one, that one, gone. So she made a good move by not moving into that place. But we're also going to have, who else are we going to have on? I think that was it. There's somebody else. Oh, of course. What am I thinking? See, it's here now. James will be on at some point. But we're going to keep this show around 2 hours because we started late. Again, my fault entirely. Fuck Comcast. That's the first thing I'm going to say. These guys, I spent an hour and a half on the phone trying to get the internet turned back on here and somehow managed to pay. They managed to weasel me into paying all my other bills by pretending I was paying this bill. Wow. So all of a sudden I'm paying my house bill and I'm paying this other bill. I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't even turning on. So I apologize for the lateness. I'm sure we lost a ton of people off the front end. We're like, there's no show today. Couldn't announce anything because we had no internet. So I was like, oh my God, we're trapped here. So let's do a quick shout out right now since we're not going to have time probably during the thing and everybody's going to start calling in. And if James is listening, he can call Tim and tell him to call in about 5 minutes and I'll just ram through these sponsors so we can make sure that, keep the lights on and the internet working. That's probably half the problem right there. So right out of the gate, our buddies over at New Millennium, they're going to come on the show too because they got those new products that we need to try. I haven't even got to try them yet. And you can contact New Millennium at newmillenniumnutrients.com and you can find out they have a great new website, store finders, nutrient calculators, all sorts of things on there that makes it easy as a grower. And you also can rest assured, I've used this product for a couple of years now, and I am 100% sure that you will be happy with it. Guaranteed. How's that for an advertisement like that? Beautiful. Once again, newmillenniumnutrients.com, and we'll have Cole on the show soon, and we'll have them come through and bring the product, and one day we're going to have Neil on the show too. It's going to be a good one. And our other buddies over at Incredibles, also a new website. These guys, I don't know what's going on with our sponsors, but they seem to be all on the same page where they're just like taking, bam, launch them all in the same week. Ginger Peach, have never even heard of it. Look at that. Whoa. Going national. See, I'm just learning. I'm learning by looking at this website. That's how on point it is. But Pumpkin Pie Delight, it's that time of year.
Yep.
And you can also, you can guarantee, rest assured, any products you get from them are going to be super on point, consistent. That's the key to their success. And if you're into making extracts and you want to pick up the best machine out there, you're going to talk to these guys also. And that's why they have such a good product, because it's all in-house. They grow it, process it, and sell it. Boom. That's what a formula, huh? It's like back in the day when people were just like, if you have how could you not see that as being the most obvious thing, that you need to produce your own product, be consistent, so that you know what the hell you're doing. You go to iloveincredibles.com, check out the website for yourself, and if you happen to be in Nevada, California, Colorado, and where's the other one? Is there one more? We have the first call in. It should be Tim. Welcome to the Adam Dunn Show. Who have we got?
This is Sub Cool from the road.
Sub is in the house. All right, right out of the gate. I think Tim's going to call in a minute anyway, but we can always link you guys all up. We'll get on the one big chat together. So, I'm going to say how you doing, but how you doing?
I tell you, I'm be all weird here. So I'm the Phoenix, bitch. I'm coming from the ashes.
Right.
Yeah. What it is. The house is gone. Everything's gone, and I'm free for the first time. I don't have a garden in 40 years. I don't have to worry about plants or clones.
That's crazy, right? That is like it's when we talked just a little while ago, I had this, I remember the same thing though, where after my fire, it was like the next day I was like, well, there's a lot of things I don't have to do now because they're just not there anymore. You know what I mean? So, where were you when this all went down? Were you at home or?
Yeah, so I'll take me just a second to tell the story. I like telling it because I was in shock and I sucked at telling it. So here we go. So I was in the house with Jill, and we were watching I don't watch TV, but we watched the show Ray Donovan, and his wife's dying of cancer. And I hate it because I'm sick. So I was in the bedroom, and I'm avoiding it. And Jill said, I smell smoke, and I smell smoke too. And Jill is like on top of shit. So she went under the deck, and she came back out, and she said, we need to leave. And I was like, what? And she said, no, get on the porch. 5 football fields from my house. The flames were 300 foot in the air.
Wow.
The sound was like 80 decibels of bass, and shit was exploding. So she grabbed the cat and yelled, Rue, leave, you got to go. And I don't want to sound like, this is going to sound crazy, but it really wasn't. I was kind of showing off for myself. I was like, I'm not leaving. I'll burn with the house. That is a shitty week.
Right.
And then I got some hash, and I got my wallet, and I got my phone, and I looked at my dog, and I left. I mean, that's really sad. The house was gone in minutes.
Wow.
Then it came over the ridge, and telephone poles exploding. We get to the bottom of the hill. The fire chases us at the bottom of the hill. We go to someone's house. That house is evacuated. We make appointments at a hotel. That hotel burns the fuck down. We're racing through the fire. Like, oh shit, racing through the fire. I was live, streaming. So you can hear my truck going, wah, 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 in the fire and shit. And then we got all the way out of town to Windsor. We finally got a little hotel with no service and everything. And then that hotel was under evacuation order threat the whole time me and Jill was there for 3 days.
Really? You just said, fuck it. We're not going until we hear it this time. Wow.
It's, and I will tell you people I've never been in we got nowhere. Like some people are like, hey, there's a fire, and they come and maybe evacuate. We heard a roar in the boogie.
Yeah.
So I love this part of the stupid-ass story. I had 1,200 grams of hash with me because we've been making hash for a week. French cannoli and all these hash makers for harvest. So that's the only thing I left my house with. Not the laptop, not the bank records, not kids' pictures. I grabbed this cooler full of hash. So I'm riding around California selling my hash so I can live.
Right. I mean, what about the beans? I mean, that's obviously everyone's fucking, that's the scary
They're
part.
gone. Well, just so people don't freak out, I mean, we have multiple locations. We have seeds all over the world, and we have other plants all over the world.
Right.
We're restructuring, but yeah, it all burnt down. All the moms, the Pinot's gone. Wow. Leo did not come and get the Pinot because he's busy. Frenchie didn't pick it up when he was making hash.
Right.
It's gone from the earth.
That's crazy. I think Leo's coming on the show in a little bit, so we'll scold him. He's like, dude, you should at least picked up the
That's just
female.
it.
I know. It's
You know,
and the crazy part too, though, is when you're, like we were saying before, like you can't even fathom the amount of things that you don't even remember because you're just like, right now you're in shock. So it's kind of like it's gonna come to you like in these little waves, just like because it's weird too, and genetics wise too. My thing was when I saw my fire, I was just thinking of like the males mostly than anything, I mean, it was all the males that I know that nobody really had backups of, and I was just like, oh my God, this is going to be a fucking hell, because I didn't have as much of, I mean, I had about 80% backed up, but it was the male side that was really for me a hard one, because, no one ever wanted to hang on to those for me, or I wouldn't trust them in the first place,
Same. I've been lucky this year. We diversified, and, for instance, like we lost to Strawberry Clump, and, Kyle Cushman, absolutely, but that don't mean it's in my hand in a fucking reading room. That means I got to get it. I got to make sure they ain't got bugs on it. The backup made by not cut down Kyle. It's just part of the business.
Yeah.
So, that kind of stuff. But I did want to say this, and so everybody hears, the outpouring of love from Ed Rosenthal to Kyle Cushman to Soul of Brothers Grimm offering me his A13 that I sent him, to Bog, to people all.
Did we lose you? Oh, I did. I lost. You guys still hear him? Oh, my thing's not working.
I don't hear him. I don't hear him.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't hear him.
Okay, we lost him. All right, that's because my thing sometimes doesn't work.
No, I think we lost him.
All right. If you're hearing us and we're not hearing you some magically way, just give us a call right back.
Yeah, he's going to give us because we're still connected here to him.
Huh, strange. All right.
So
disconnect, and then we'll
right.
boom. No, he'll be like, if he's somehow magically talking. And then if Tim is listening, he can call in at any point too, because we have the power to have multiple people on here. Boom, there he is. So we got you back?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, we lost you. I don't know if you were talking to nobody for a minute there, but
yeah, the only other thing I wanted to say, and then I'll stop my little rant here and ask you the questions you got is some GoFundMe accounts were created, and in this business, Adam, we all have haters. So, the very first thing that happened was, why are we going to have subs? Whatever breeder, blah 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 blah. And so the GoFundMe accounts that have been created for me, I think it's just awesome. Any money that's raised for me, I'll take bongs, hat pins, hoodies, pants. Okay, I'm not like that, but if anybody raises money for me, I'm just going to turn around and give it to somebody that needs it, because it's just the easiest thing for me to do. To deal in this world. I'm not destitute. I lost all my shit, but I'm not destitute.
Right.
So any money raised for me, I'm just going to find a family in Northern California and give me money. There's that.
Well, it's crazy. There's been because we're having Gabby. You know Gabby from the Garden Spout, I'm assuming, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Gabby's going to be on a little bit later, about another hour or so. I think he's going to jump on. But I sent him some, right away, I sent him some clothes because I had, for his kid, for his 1-year-old. And, but he's there's a lot of that going on up there where it just seems like the people, as always, the people who really don't even have any money are the ones who are just handing it over to, paying up, helping people out and stuff. And that's one of the crazy things whenever there's something like this, major like this, and NorCal of all places is probably the one place that people always looked out for each other in a sense. So it's pretty amazing to hear some of the stories of people reaching out, and even the ones who have the least. Like I'm sure he's going to tell the story of I'm sure I don't want to kill his stories, but he basically said that he was at a shop and had a $500 bill, and he only had $300 on him, and then the bagger, who definitely does not make that much money, said, I'll take care of it for you. You know what I mean? Shit like that's going down, which is awesome.
Here's one for you. So, are you aware of my work with autistic kids and families?
Yeah. Explain.
So we raise money for kids. And I don't have a 501c because getting a charity with a marijuana-based business is, so I just give the money away. I raise it, I give it away. If I got taxed that, I'll pay it. But so we find families that life is shit on that have autistic kids, and we help them out all over the place. So me and Jill are in line the first night at Rayleigh's, and we don't have cash. It's not a question of money.
Mm-hmm.
The cash machines don't work, credit cards don't work. It's apocalypse.
Right.
You're standing in line with a family, and they have an adult autistic child. You can tell an autistic child, especially when they're adult, because he needed to see Safeway so that he knew Safeway hadn't burned the fuck down. That's it. That's how our system works. So he's standing there, and the lady, she looked at Jill, who had on, Jill left the house with some, like, sweats on and a shirt, and that's it. No earrings. Jill put on a piece of jewelry that I gave. It's kind of sick. But, so the lady looks at Jill, and she's like, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, we lost everything. And so she bought our groceries, and then she turned around and gave us $100. And I've never had charity before. I mean, when I got out of jail, people fed me, but I've never had anybody give me charity. And so I might get a little choked up here. I turned to the lady. I said, until 3 days ago, I was the one helping you. And I said, this is some bizarre sense of karma, that the first person I see that actually puts food in my body is a family with an autistic child. So it is certainly come full circle.
Right. No, that's awesome.
I find the best of humanity in this, the best.
100%. And what's the situation right now? Like, I mean, as far as, I still, every time I hear on the radio, it sounds like it's still raging pretty hard.
Yeah, it's Armageddon. The news doesn't do it well. The water's toxic. No services. There's no gas. The restaurants are all closed. The fire went through the city and ravaged it. The Red Barn's gone. 2 hotels are gone. 4,000 homes. And now it's in Napa. And you can hear the fire. It sounds like a subwoofer. The bad news is the winds are coming up. So the winds at my house was 75 miles an hour when the fire hit. That's why my house is gone. So when the wind picks up, the fire moves. When the wind shifts, it burns something else. It's been back on areas, Adam, like it's cleared an area, and then people come back, and then they're like, here comes the fire again. It's terrifying.
Wow.
Kids are traumatized. They think it's the end of the world.
Right.
It's really, like, scary on the level, but I am not doing a good job of explaining how terrifying.
No, in a sense, you are doing a great job, just because, people don't realize how quick those things move. And, we had to clear out of our house in Colorado in 2012. They had a lot of fires here too, and it was a similar thing where it was on the ridge behind my place, but it was pretty far away still, but I could start to see the glow, you know what I mean? And it was like, they're telling us to evacuate now, you know what I mean? And I'm like, holy fuck. And then it's just like, that was my second year back from Holland, and there's definitely no forest fires in Holland happening, you know what I mean? That's like seriously not in their world at all, And so it was just weird. It was like, wow, this is real. This is happening, but it never got, it literally was still miles away from my place. But when I think Cali's always had that, there's so much undergrowth and there's so much like material to burn at this point. And up there has been always, it's crazy because it went through such a drought, and then all of a sudden you got all this rain, and then you think, oh, we're saved. You know what I mean? It was like that moment where it just felt like it was like it had gone like, okay, everything's full again. We're doing great, and then this kind of comes through.
Well, you nailed it. We burnt. Well, the wind burned us down, but the other reason we burned down is because we forgot. We're like, oh, man, it was a great year. We had plenty of rain. Mm-hmm. Fire season's over. Well, bullshit.
Right. No, and it's that classic. I always tell people too, and and of course in this situation, it's not any person's fault unless we find out that it's actually PG&E or whatever like they were saying it possibly is with the fallen lines.
Well, I do. It was fallen lines. We believe that, but I also want to address something else. So, my neighbor, I have a neighbor who works for Cal Fire. He backfired his house. He burnt my fucking house down. Straight up. He burnt my fucking house down. But the winds were blowing 70 miles an hour and the entire county burnt down. Would my house have burnt down if my neighbor wouldn't have started the fire? Probably so. You with me?
Right.
So it was wind. Mm-hmm. I talked to my daughter. She's a conspiratist. I didn't think the government burned all the weed. The government didn't set fucking the state of California on fire to burn the weed down. No. But what they did was they didn't have a fire truck at my house for 7 hours.
Right.
That's what they did. Mm-hmm. I hadn't seen a fire truck in a week. What do you do with a fire? You spray water on it. I've seen no fire trucks.
Right.
So the state of California has no infrastructure for fighting a fucking fire this big.
It's crazy that they don't have. It's crazy that they don't have. I mean, and what I heard, which is even worse, is that we have actually got those planes, but they're not. They're just like not flying them. They're just sitting there. You know what I mean? We have actually 2 planes in the country, but they're not allowed to fly them or some bullshit. It was just like, what? Like, are you kidding me right now? You use everything you got. You know what I mean? You dump as fucking fast as you can. But I mean, this one definitely.
And 3 years ago, 3 years ago, Adam, when fire hit our house, there There were helicopters and shit flying over our house. They were dropping water on us. I don't understand. I do know the Oregon firefighters are here. I do know everybody's proud of them, and I know they're in the front line. And I want to make sure that people listening to me know I'm not dogging firefighters. They're risking their life to fight this fire on the line. I'm saying the cities themselves. They didn't send out 50 fire trucks. I have 7 houses on my property. They're fucking gone. Gone. Trees are gone. Vineyards are gone. Pot plants are gone. Gone. So that's not good.
Yeah. No, it's going to take a lot.
And here's another one.
Tell it.
Here's another one. Mud flats.
Oh, yeah.
So my property is awesome. It's a mountain and it has no damn trees. So I'm going to keep it because I can grow cannabis there. But what do you think is going to happen this winter when the rain comes? No grass, trees.
Yeah. No, it's crazy too because like Big Sur with their first slide that they had, it was like watching California kind of fall apart at that point where you're like, wait a minute, did they just lose like a whole road? You know what I mean? Is it 145 feet of fucking? Is that happening? Is that like it is like yep, they're not going to clear it for fucking years. You know, who knows how long? And so kind of you see the California that we all heard about. Next is an earthquake, and then we're all fucked. You know what I mean? It's just like Jesus Christ, because you know how things roll, right? They come in threes, don't they? So what is this? Is this the drought? You had the drought, now you had the fire. Uh-oh. You know, who knows? Yeah, Cali's.
But there's cool things out of it. And one thing I did want to mention up in close to home, up in Cloverdale, the Soil King, Patrick, he rallied. His garden center became a drop-off for horses and dogs and goats and cats and rabbits, and then his dispensary became a drop-off for cannabis and medibles and hash and blankets. And their community, again, like we started this study, they just rally together.
Wow.
And it's so weird. Like the morning, I'm standing there next to Pat. You know, it's like we're standing there together. We take pictures of each other on the Instagram so people know we're both alive.
Right.
And it's just, I can't believe how everybody stands behind each other. People that don't like me have called me. You okay?
Well, that's what happens, right? Hopefully, I think, yeah, and that's the thing is people just got to like come together. Speaking of coming together, we got Tim on the line now, or what do we got? Who we got?
This is Johnny from Loompa Farm.
Oh, Loompa. Hey, what's going on, man? Thanks for calling in. So now we got you guys both together. That's a good combination, actually. So, welcome to the show. I don't know if you've been listening to Sub, but we've been hearing his story, which is amazing, but terrible, obviously. And we heard the same, like literally, because he was just saying how people who didn't even like him were calling him up and saying, "Are you okay?" And that's pretty much where when you jumped in. And I feel like there's a great combination of getting us all on the line together. And it's like 3 breeders who kind of all never really, you know, I think we have our own little camps, you know what I mean? And everybody kind of like thinks we don't like each other or something. I was like always a
We're just busy.
And we're like,
We're just busy. I go, do you like Adam? I go, yeah, I'm busy. I don't know what he's doing. I'm busy.
Exactly. It's not like we're like in each other's business too much, but at the same time, I never really had any. I was like, I don't know. I never really had an issue. I just, you know, we do what we do, and then but people always read into everything.
Right.
You know, oh, he's using his thing, or that's somebody who's calling it the same as that. It's over. It's over. But
People love drama, but you know what, man? It's things like this that brings us all together. You know, I mean.
Yeah. And tell us, people. I mean, yeah. So we heard on the can of grape line right away. It was like that you lost everything, and that Sub. Pretty much those are the 2 that I heard right out of the gate, and I was like, holy shit, this is real shit now. So,
Johnny, where were you at? If you don't mind me asking.
Redwood Valley, Potter Valley. You know, we've been kind of doing recon missions the past couple days. Just man, I woke up in the middle of the night. I got a phone call from my buddy Tony at Honeysuckle, and man, he saved a lot of people's lives. They didn't even set off an alarm or nothing. You know, by the time I went outside, there was flames everywhere, and
yeah, that's the scary part right there. Not even a warning. I mean, normally you'd think that
we got nothing.
No, there's nothing. You know, many people that I know are in the same boat. There's nothing but a foundation, whatever was cement left, and you know, we've been.
Are you still up there, Johnny? Are you still up there?
I'm in Redwood Valley right now as we speak. We're doing. We've been cutting people's gardens and hauling them out because you know the fire is still out of control, and you know it's pretty sad out here.
Yeah. No, it's all.
Still, you can't breathe, still, right?
I mean, it's actually not super smoky right now, but it's pretty foul.
I had to bug out because of my COPD. It was getting worse. I was getting dizzy. My head was pounding. I can't wear a mask. All those people that wear masks, I can't. It recirculates too much for me because of my breath. But anyway, I finally got the hell out of there. I left yesterday and I can breathe again. So I'll go back Monday. And one of the things I was going to tell some people that I learned, I try to pass on information when I learn it that costs me money. So for you people who can't get to your house, don't go to your house. They've issued alerts and notices to don't go to your house because you could get killed or whatever. But if you do live in a safe area, I know where I live, I know where my house is, never let me go there. I'm taking a fucking lawyer to the police line on Monday, and he's going to have to give me a reason when I can go to my house because, my house was worth a lot of money, and there's things there that I need to go look at. Mm-hmm. And I've called a few times. I've been polite. The guy was a prick this morning, rude. So I called my lawyer, and he says, "We'll do it Monday." That's simple. Well, so if you do have valuable property, you might want to get your lawyer involved.
I'll tell you what. The Farm Bureau here in Mendocino has been very helpful with us. If any other farmers out there, you might want to call the Farm Bureau or the Ag Department and mention that you have commerce or animals that you need to tend to. They could put you on a list, and you could get in. And that's pretty much what we've been doing.
It's the animal part that's kind of crazy too. There's so many animals that got obviously got killed, but on top of that, separated from wherever, and on top of, and then also have you guys had any encounters with wild animals coming through and stuff just because of the trying to escape, or like you see any of that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Goats and deers. The deer's on the road because they're scared of the woods.
Right.
I just actually got my cat returned to me. So the cat that we thought was gone survived. Kitty's here sitting on my lap. His paws are pretty burnt, but
wow.
I'm gonna take him to the vet here now.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Cats are pretty amazing sometimes.
We had one.
Yeah, go ahead.
We had one. We had one, and this is a sore subject, but it's real life. We have a cat named Frida. She's badass. She kills crows, birds, snakes. She's an awesome cat, and she's wild. You can't find her, and she was gone when we left. And Jill's convinced she burned to death, and I told Jill she did. She's a cat. She's smart. She hauled ass. But the neighbor gets back, and his goats are in the backyard, fried, bleeding, and he had to shoot them. So yeah, it's pretty apocalyptic. But can I tell you a funny story? We got like 2 minutes. I can I tell a story?
Sure. I think. Wait 1 second. Is that Tim?
That's Tim. How you doing?
Hey, Tim. So we got Tim Blake on the line too.
Sorry, Tim.
We have
the Emerald Cup.
Yes, with the Emerald Cup. That's that guy. I was just going to tell you, Tim, that we have Sub Cool on the line also with us live.
Hey, Sub.
And then we also have John from Lupa Farms on. So we have a full, and I mean they're both of them pretty much lost everything. So we're going through the stories too. So jump in at any time, Tim. I'm sure you're dealing with some stuff too, huh?
Oh well, not what they are. I mean, Sub and John lost a lot to 5 vineyards and stuff, and they've lost all their genetics. So they're two of the prime people we're talking about getting together on Monday. Leo and Jackson and a bunch of people, Casey from Happy Days, and figure out how we can support you guys. My hearts go out to you guys. I know we talked yesterday, John. Hope you're doing better.
Yeah, one step at a time. We're keeping it going forward.
Yeah, this is amazing. I mean,
definitely touched by all the people that have been reaching out. That definitely makes things feel a little better. I know you got good people behind you.
Right. Well, we talked before about having an opportunity for you to come help us, John. Every crisis has an opportunity, and so we'll extend that out there and get you a place to move and with your family and stuff. If it works, we'll see how things go over the next week. But you got to back up there, and I just saw you down there at Patrick King's. Sub, and it's like you were so kind of excited about the direction you were going, and I'm sorry that it took such a drastic turn.
Yeah, but it's okay. I was telling Adam when I joined the show, I'm unencumbered. I don't have a garden. I'm traveling. Got my dog. Everything I own's in my truck, so I ain't got to worry about losing shit. And you got to make the best of it. I've always been an activist, and I've had to tone my activism down in the past because of my cultivation efforts and everything. That'll keep going. Is the Emerald Cup going to go on, Jim?
You know what? People have been worried about that, and frankly, I was there for a day or two also, but I really couldn't voice it too much because people like you guys were losing everything. But the Emerald Cup is stabilized at the fairgrounds. They've actually evacuation centers there. They got the National Guard there. It's not going to have a problem. We signed the Roots to come headline. We got Dramatic and a couple other big bands. We have a big band we can't announce till after Halloween, but no, we're not going anywhere. But we are going to use it as a rallying.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to change that. It's definitely going to be it's going to be interesting though. It's going to be a great place for people to, finally get to see each other, and it's going to be weird. It's going to be like a totally different vibe. Totally different vibe. It's like I tear up now just like thinking about it. I'm already like.
I just did.
Exactly.
Fuckers.
Exactly.
It's all but
Yeah, no, it's just made me instantly want to cry. I'm like, holy shit, it's going to be crazy. Because normally you're already waiting to get there to see all your friends, and now you're really, it's going to be just like, it's going to be weird.
Well, so many things happen. Like Tim, the hash that we got out of there with Frenchie and Bond and stuff we made under the moonlight that the film was just lighting the fire and everything. I mean, that's the last cannabis I'll ever do personally. But that's also a fucking killer story, It's like, everybody smoked this hash that we snuck off the mountain with our lives with. And I want to tell you, Tim, do you know Dave with Sonoma Patient Group?
Yeah, I do.
So you want to talk fear? He escaped with his underwear, bro, and burns. Seriously, he ran through a flaming house. So
I was doing our radio spots yesterday with Mediasonics, and his son woke up and their house was on fire, and they had to get the two kids and the wife out, and the same thing, just the clothes on their back running down the streets. And then they watched their house burn down, and then he went out and spent the next 2 days helping other people. And so you hear about these stories left and right of people that are going through this. Board of Supervisors down there lost her house, and that she's out helping people. I mean, we're a very resilient community, especially the cannabis people. So people that have gone to jail, been ripped off, lost everything multiple times, and we all get back up and stand up. And so that's the one thing about the cannabis community is we're some strong, resilient people. So, we'll be here for the long run. We're not going anywhere.
It's crazy how it's like, everybody's so many people affected by this one disaster, and at the same time, and everybody being in that same cycle at the same fucking time. And it's like, some people are like probably stoked they don't have they have in the back of their mind that one little thing like you were saying, Sub. It's like, well, fuck, I guess I don't have to trim any fucking weed this year because that was just about to drop the next couple days. You were like, oh, you're just already planning it all and thinking about all the things you got to cover and all the bills you got to pay, and then you're like, fuck it, I guess I don't have to deal with that. There's gonna be a lot of, there's a lot coming down that's just like weird, and it's just but at the same time, we all have the same thing. Like, we all think about our backups and our backup plan that we obviously had, because you have to have one. Otherwise, but even with the clothes on your back, you can, sometimes do it, and that's the whole deal. I'm sure you can.
But you know what? A lot of these people with this legalization market coming in, John can say the same thing with Five Vineyards and everybody. Everybody put a lot of time and money into becoming regulated and legitimized, getting their water rights, everything up to speed, getting their farms together. And there's a lot of money that went into that. And so a lot of people didn't have a lot of backup.
That's true.
Because they were really putting it all in. Mm-hmm. And, you don't sell cannabis as fast anymore when it comes off the stock. It takes a little longer now, so most people had it all. If they were harvesting, it was all put away. They hadn't sold much, so there's not a lot of resources that people got. Yeah. And the people that did have losses, like John there, pretty much lost it all. So there wasn't much of a backup for many of those people. It's still going to be a bumper crop. We had no mold like last year. We had 40% loss because of all the mold and rain. And this year, it's just no rain, nothing that's going to slow it down. It's a huge bumper crop coming in. So even though 3 or 5% of the triangle is going to lost.
Tim, you know what Pat said that just crushed me? We were standing there the morning of the fire. I got out of there, got up to Cloverdale, get some air. And it was under the smoke. It was frickin' 20% humidity and 82. There's no better ganja growing weather than right now. And it's,
Oh, it's, No,
it was like 10% humidity. There was no humidity.
So nice.
Right.
We got a lot out. We got half our crop out in hash. Over half our crop out in hash. The last of the garden is the prettiest, obviously, and it's scorched. But I think for me personally, and I mentioned this to Adam when I have to keep a smile on. Behind this laughter, and then the guys that watch my show and hear the jokes and shit, I'm dying inside. I mean, I lost things that cannot ever be replaced. And then I mentioned this on my show. I was trying to say this carefully, but I'll just say it's like, because of the business we're in, not all of us have bank accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So a serious fucking economy went down out there.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's right.
Yeah, and then
not the first time I've started out from square one.
Yeah, and I mean, and that is the crazy part is that like when you lose everything, because I lost everything in Amsterdam, same kind of not the same style, but I did lose everything, and it was like the littlest thing to me meant so much later. I was like, oh look, I got this one fucking thing left. I had like one, I got nothing off that. I got nothing of my genetics almost except for whatever I backed up, and I had literally.
Tim, this is It kills you though, right? It drove you crazy.
Yeah, well, it was. I was actually like the things that made me happy was that I had given a guy a tray of clones that day or that morning. That it actually the fire happened in the middle of the night, but that morning I went over and I got a tray of clones, and I was all bummed out because I had to give him like 8 different things because I just couldn't fill the order, And I was like, well, dude, I got to give you like a little of this and a little of that and a little of this. And he was a really, really good grower, but he didn't smoke weed. He's a typical Dutch guy, right? So I just gave it to him, and I was like, here's, I gave him some Kush, I gave him some sour, all the things that were like my breeding blocks kind of things. And all of a sudden, when the fire happened, I was like, fuck, thank God I gave that guy that one tray so I could go back and jerk a couple of those plants back, you know what I mean? But it was just like weird how like then that was like, those little things just fucking saved my entire thing, because otherwise I had to really start over again. But, I'm sure even when I know Sub, you said your stuff's all backed up, and Lumpa, I'm sure you got other people out there that are going to be able to help you rebuild your library, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've shared some things. I haven't even gone down that road. I've just been focusing on helping out everybody else around here. I'm sure everything's going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried. There's so many good people around.
Right.
It's like I'm not even worried. We'll be fine. I know. It's just one foot in front of the other.
Yeah. No, and I mean,
and the breeders are helping each other too. I mean, if any of the breeders, like Cherry Pie OG was one of my clones that I got last year, it's already back in my hand. It was driven to my house. Well, not my house. My house is a truck, but it was driven to my truck. I want to tell you guys a story about shock. There's 2 stories I want to tell. I think Lump can understand this, but this is a story about shock. I didn't understand shock. For 3 days, I was running around telling him, my house burnt down. A big old smile on my face, smoking a bowl. So Wednesday night, I call my printer, and I have my printer working to rebuild. I mean, I have I have over 200 people that depend on me. So got the printing going, and one of the things I said, hey, I need a Mendo dope pack. And, okay, cool. So in my house, and I'm going to say at the time I was saying was a shelf, and it had a Bob Snodgrass bottle on it. It had something from Jack. It had pictures of my kids and my wife, and it had many things that are special to me, and on it was a jar of Mendo dope seeds. And in my mind, I reached up to grab the Mendo dope seeds, and then the jar went away, and the wall went away, and I realized I don't have a fucking house, so I don't have any Mendo dope seeds. And I mean, I can recreate them, but we're going to launch it, and the kids are all excited, and it's just, I realize we're talking about life and death and everything, but there's many sides to it. And, this was a big thing. We're going to have a good time and celebrate American cultivation and the ganja garden and be proud to do what we do. And frickin' it got burned up. So, yeah, it'll come back, but not next week, Mm-hmm. That's the kind of stuff that it's just annoying as a businessman. The people that are hurting, they've lost their families, the people that died, I mean, that's what it's about. But we do have to go back to work and start rebuilding stuff, and some of it's going to be very complicated. Leo will be on in a little bit, but Pino's gone. I mean, I don't know. I'm such a weed nerd that to me that's as serious as a lot of things. We lost something that provides a lot of pleasure and a lot of relief to a lot of people. So anyway, I'm pissed.
Well, yeah, and you sounded so happy, Sub. I saw you down there, Patrick's, and you were talking about the Arizona and the different things you had going, and it just sounded like it was a pinnacle of a place you were coming into that was really a wonderful, successful season ahead for you, and to have that taken away in a matter of moments, it's a big loss.
Crazy feeling.
Let me tell you the zombie story. I'm gonna let everybody take back over and get back on the road. But so we've been in Santa Rosa for 4 days, maybe 5. There's no food. Then you go to Safeway, and then there's no food. You go to Walmart, and that's where America Rebuilds is at Walmart. You go get your shirt and your underwear, and water they're not even putting on the shelf. Just get off the pallet. There's people in the McDonald's line waiting for the magic food to come out of the magic box, even though it's clones. It's sirens, fire trucks, There's people fucking everywhere. There's cars wrecked. There's people strewn out and living out of their cars and stuff. And the day before, I tried to go to the mall, and of course it's closed. So it's on the way down to the dispensary to get some money to eat, and I see people in the parking lot. So I pull over, and there's skaters. And I was like, "Is the mall open?" Oh yeah. So I got to go back to the all this noise. I open the door of the mall. Swear to God, the girl from Ipanema, and there's people in the stores but no shoppers, and there's Panda Express, and dude, is a fucking trip. I went to Brookstone. I sat in a vibrating chair. I got some Wi-Fi. I got me something to eat. So if the zombie apocalypse comes, go to the mall.
Yeah, no one's there. Perfect. It's the emptiest place in the
They
world.
have food, they have water. I said, how do you have water? The water's toxic. How do you have water? They said, no, we're good. So,
Yeah, that definitely is a apocalyptic kind of. A mall is apocalyptic, if kind of anyway. They're just like that's what it feels like when you go to them anyway. So crazy. So Tim, I know. So we talked about obviously it's going on, and obviously it's going to change the vibe a little bit. But what are we going to do about fucking hotels? What's the deal with that? Is that going to? I mean, how many hotels went down? Do you think? And how many people are?
You know what? It's really, when you start thinking about these things, I mean, it was northern Santa Rosa for the most part, hit to the east, going out into Geyserville and Sonoma and Calistoga, but Fountain Grove and the Hilton, which we use. At one point, I heard that the Flamingo, which is our main hotel, was on fire, and I thought, gosh, are we going to put a couple on in tents?
I know. That's what I heard that too. And I was like, oh, no.
But you know what? Not many hotels went down, but this is the challenge. You got all these displaced people that are going to need hotels.
Right.
And so hotels are going to be at a premium for the next couple months. We're getting every hotel we can get. At this point, I'm looking at it as a blessing. If that's what we're dealing with is trying to find people places to stay on the cup runs, and we get to have a tremendous gathering place that we can do a auction and a bunch of relief for the victims, and bring people in and talk about it and have community, not only for the cannabis people, but for the overall community, because there were so many homes that just went down. But it is going to be something, but at this point, I'm thankful that for the small miracles like the Flamingo being there, the fairgrounds not burning down, because if the fairgrounds had burned down, where would we have gotten permits? How can we even put the show on? We would have just lost it all. Right. We already had deposits. We probably would have been $1 million. And you don't have you don't have insurance for cannabis losses. Well, you don't have insurance for losses for like the Emerald Cup. It would have probably cost me $1 million. And that's a lot a lot of money. I don't know where I would have.
I think it might even been more.
Going,
I think it would have been more in the end, because it would have just snowballed at that point. You know what I mean? Because there'd be so many people be jumping in like, just sue Tim. They'd be like, oh no, Tim's going. Like everybody be suing you left and right. It'd be horrible. The American way,
as it is. On a different note, can I ask you? Yeah. I mean, So personally, I know I cut you guys slammed off. I wanted to talk to Tim today, and I couldn't find him. So, like, my land is gone. It burnt the bridge. My bridge is gone. My land is scored. It burned the concrete. There's nothing left. But it's cannabis land. So it's 3 acres of cannabis. We've got 5,000 indoors, 5,000 outdoors. And before, I had restrictions because I had neighbors. Well, I ain't got no neighbors now. Right. So I'm going to hang on to it. I mean, insurance will do what insurance does, whatever. And I'm going to hang on to it. But what I'm asking you is, because you live in this area, I mean, do you anticipate mudslides? Like, my land is not that great when it comes to rain. So, I mean, do we have to worry about 2 years of that shit?
Well,
we're talking about putting down cover crop now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be up in the Tom Kai area, out east and west, and up on top of Redwood Valley. Yes, down in the valleys, not so much, but some of that hilly stuff east of Santa Rosa, yeah, of course. And you're talking about a cleanup job for all those homes and stuff. It's just extraordinary, that the cleanup job and getting that down. Like John said, it's going to be cover crops going in. There is, most of that was pretty upscale living areas, and so they probably have pretty good insurance policies on that. So you're going to have a massive stimulus rebuild and a lot of insurance money coming in to fix a lot of that.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be like it was the poor people that aren't going to get access to a lot of funds. But as far as getting those cover crops down and getting those properties, especially on the steeper terrains, stabilized, yeah, that's going to be an issue if we get rain. Look, we haven't even had any rain yet, so.
Right. So I think we got, is that Gabby on the line right now, or somebody just jumped
Does she
on?
sound like this, Gabby?
No.
That was John. I think that
Leo.
was John.
No, it's Leo. No, it's Leo. It's Leo.
Hey, Leo.
What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, OG Tim? Adam, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Of course.
Right.
So we got
Much
Leo
love to
from
John
Aficionado
and
on.
Temple, for sure.
Yeah, and so you know who's on the line, right? You know who everybody's on, obviously. So yeah, craziness up there, right?
Yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking. We're down in Ukiah right now. You know, checked on a few people, and the atmosphere here is kind of tough, dude. It's like it's pretty tough. It's really hard to see people suffer, man. You know, especially when it's like, you know, your people too. You know, it's really, you know, we're really feeling it for like John and the Lumba crew.
We fucking lost it all, Leo. We fucking lost it all. All of it.
Whatever,
So many people.
Whatever we can fucking do to help you guys out, bro. It's like, man, you know, it's like, you know, we wouldn't really be where we are without you, bro. You know, and so it's like we owe you, you know. So we want to make sure, you know, we all take care of each other. Hey, we got the Pinot back. I found the fucking Pinot.
Fuck yeah! Fuck yeah!
Dude,
I love
How
you.
about that?
I love you. I love you. I love you. Oh, man, you just made my tears go away. Oh, man, I love you, dude. I love you, man. Oh, God.
That's great.
Sorry.
That's some good news for you today, bro.
I love you, man. I love you.
Yeah, no, this is some heavy shit because it's like at the same time, every time you start thinking about it, it tears you up, and I'm not even there, and I'm fucking crying right now. So it's like, it's some crazy shit. Yeah, it's some crazy shit. So
yeah, look, if you don't cry in this shit, you're really fucking hard. Damn.
Right? No, 100%.
Yeah, man, big time.
And it's, you know, it's like you know, everybody's in shock still, and they don't, you know, and that's the weirdest period because when you do that, you're like you were saying.
Leo, are you safe? Did you lose anything, Leo?
No, we're fine. We're straight. We have partners that they lost everything, you know, just like you, homie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm really, really feeling for you. You know, really feeling for the family. You know, whatever we all could do, man, to help you guys out. You know, the community. It's time for the community to come together and help everybody out. You know, that's kind of the time.
And you want? Can I tell you one that's really bullshit? Y'all know who Herb is? Y'all know Erman? Y'all know this cat?
Mm-mm.
Leo, he's Glenn Erman. Herb man. He worked for me.
Oh, Herb man.
He got popped for some bullshit, fucking residue. He had a medical card, and Lake County assholes put him in the pokey for 90 days. He's in Lakeport. Hell, I don't know if he ain't on fire. So yeah, he's going to get out, and yeah, the world's changed. Oh my God, the world's changed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's some crazy. I mean, there's like exactly. There's so much to deal with for so many different people, and you obviously got to move forward. And moving forward just means like, you know, at that moment in time, sort of blocking stuff out. But you know, it all sinks in at some point, and it's going to take years for this shit to you know, really come back to where it even was in any way, shape, or form. So, I mean, it's also putting, you know, the other thing too, what we wanted to talk about on the show was, you know, the role of NorCal what it has been up until this point, obviously, and it's going to continue. You know, it's not like never time to stop. But the fact that it's produced, you know, so much cannabis and created such a, you know, spread, you know, you can't be too proud of it, but at the same time, you got to be proud of the fact that it actually, you know, covered America in the sense of, you know, giving it quality cannabis, and now it's going to take. You know, take a hit. I don't know. What do you think about the prices of? I mean, this is like not a. We got to think about the reality. What do you think about the prices now of cannabis and the fact that people are going to have to, because everybody was getting a little bit ridiculous. You know, the prices were getting to the point where nobody's making any money, and we're all just spinning wheels, and it was like kind of bullshit. Do you think this?
Well, the prices have gone nowhere but down, and they're going to keep going down because there's a bumper crop coming in. So there's going to be more cannabis. We lost about 30-40% last year. This is truly a bumper crop with the low humidity and lack of rain and mold. So you're going to have huge crops coming in across the board, more cannabis than ever. And this really, in an overall sense, is going to be a very small dent in the overall market. We're going to have probably twice as much cannabis. So prices have already been falling. You got boxes of depots at $900. The best OGs up north are going for $1,100, and that's going to go nowhere but down. You're probably going to be looking at $600-700 pounds by Halloween. So this isn't going to change that. And the role of Northern California, because we're coming outside in full sun, we're just growing more and more. We're not hiding under the trees anymore, growing indoors like we were 20 years ago. It's all full sun, bud. And so we're still a large-scale agricultural area that's going to just continue to grow. And you're going to see a huge crop going across this country this year of all kinds of quality cannabis. And hopefully all these people that do well or have large crops can give in and support to all the people like John and Sub and all the rest of them that are going to be hurting and need help. And we'll put that together as much as we can. Leo's talked about it. I know everybody else is talking about getting together and figuring out how we can help it out and support it and get a fund going. So that'll happen. We're a team. We're a community.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear. But what do you think about the water now? With the talk, with being like, what do you think the long-term effects on the water will be, on the water table with all this? Is it going to? Do you think it's going to affect it at all?
Yeah, in areas when it rains. That's what we really have to worry about. A lot of that stuff that was combusted and atomized into the atmosphere, and then when the houses are burning down and things burn and fluids leak out into the groundwater table, it's going to be a huge problem. There's people in Santa Rosa talking about, the water's not drinkable in some areas. It's not going to be drinkable for a long time. So
I was talking to one of my friends who's a doctor, chemist, biologist, cannabis, whatever. One of the problems with this fire, so if you picture my house, the wind was blowing 70 miles an hour in 4 different directions. So if you picture a campfire and you picture somebody's hand over it waving back and forth, that's what was going on. I mean, it melted cinder blocks. It melted tungsten. The pollution that's in the ground right now is astronomical. And when it rains, that's the problem. That's what's going on. So it is a big deal. I mean, I had a concrete roof, and it is vaporized. So think about that. It's hot.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just thinking of the soil. I'm just thinking of plants going. It's like it's going to be hard to tell if some places will be usable within that next season, or even It's like, there's a lot to think about, I guess. It's like, fuck. So besides Emerald Cup, where's the best meeting places for all these people? Because you had mentioned one, Sub, I think, right? But,
yeah, Soul King. I mean, Patrick just basically is where I live, 25 minutes from Patrick, and breakfast is 10 minutes away. I mean, pretty much in the morning, it's not for me to go up and hit there. People like Russian River Farms, who I understand lost a farm. I think he's one of the best growers that I know out there. And all these other people are they lose their shit. And so if you want to know what's going on, you go to Pat. You get some supplies, which is always a good thing, and you find out what's going on. And he's raising money. He has dog shelter. They're taking donations of clothes. And so that's the Soul King and Garden Center and Cloverdale. And it's just where I'm from on Tuesdays, at Taco Tuesdays, you can meet up to 30 Northern Cali growers hanging out there. And it's where we go to mingle and then go back to work. So, yes, that is a hub right now for everybody up there in the area that's been affected, and also an area of information.
Yeah, and what's up with the internet and all the phone, the communications and stuff up there? How is this spotty at best, or is it coming back, or?
It's bad. It
seems like it's coming
cell
back.
Towers are gone. You think it's coming back now? Okay.
Yeah, I had service in the valley here today. I'm just pulling out of the valley here now. It's like driving through a war zone. I'm taking the cat to the vet. It's pretty sad to see all these homes gone. It's going to be a long time to rebuild. But you know what? We're a resilient community, like we've all said. And just got to fucking plant the seed and it'll grow.
Right. And say something.
Like I say, I'm going to build a giant cannabis farm on top of my hill because I don't have any neighbors. I have a fresh start. It may take a couple of years. I have other plans and projects, but why not?
Mm-hmm.
Why not revitalize the land with cannabis?
That's what we're all saying. Overgrow it.
Overgrow it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, besides the toxicity, I mean, we all know burns aren't the worst thing for plants, right? They'll enjoy it at some point. You know what I mean? There'll be some benefits in the long run for some areas, but I mean, it's a crazy concept that so many people lost so little, so much in such a short amount of time. But at the same time, I think we're going to hear more and more of the stories of people, like we said, coming together. I think in a minute we're going to have our friend Gabby from the Garden Spout's going to call in too. I know he lost his home. I don't know about the business side of a thing, but it's
Mr. Chemdog himself.
right, exactly. So he's I mean, he's also being humbled by this situation, obviously, like everybody, and it's the reality of we're one of the few groups that actually could pretty fast see things turning around, whereas other people, they got to wait for insurance companies and they got to wait for this and they got to wait for that. It's like, we all do have to wait for that too, but at the same time we can all start, if we have a spot somewhere, if it, maybe not where we were at that moment in time, but once we get plants grown again, I mean, it's like hope, you know what I mean? It's like this instant hope where you're like, all right, we got, it's fresh, never seen smoke, brand new genetics, you know what I mean? They never had to be tortured through the whole thing. I mean, and the other thing too is like for some people, as much as you lose, you also gain, because now all of a sudden maybe I know myself. When I got new things from people, it was always like you could tell who your friends were, and you could tell like when people knew you were down and they're all of a sudden dangling it over you, then you're like fuck you, we're not going to work with that guy anymore. But then you get your other friends who are got the tray of clones waiting for you when you get done, and you're like, all right, well that's the way it works, So it is good to
feel good.
I'm gonna, if you guys don't mind, I gotta drive to another location.
Not a problem.
Listen, but I wanted to say one thing. We've talked about it. All of us come back from the overgrow days. We've already mentioned overgrow. So I didn't personally. I thank God I can actually have people working for me now. But the very first thing we did the morning that we germinated 100 seeds. So if you're a cannabis grower, get your ass back to work and grow some ganja.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And you'll also know that if you started it now, you know exactly when it, the starting point now. It's like it's literally it's not some just sort of random number in your head, like I don't know, 9, 10, 12 years ago, whatever. You don't even remember anymore. But now everybody knows where they're going. Where they're actually starting from on these new lines that they're doing, or rebuilding the old lines that they had. So we'll have a lot more clarity on some things, that's for sure, because we know exactly it started on fucking that date. There's no other choice, because that's all I did, So it's good to hear that from you, Sub, and we'll do another show soon, because when everything's more mellowed out, I don't know how long that's going to take, but it's really good to get you on the show, at least and glad you got to stay on for this long.
Yeah,
thank you guys. I love you all very, very much. Yeah. If you guys need anything, you know how to get me. I'm on Instagram all the time. Thanks.
Best of luck, dude.
Peace up.
Love you guys.
Much love, son.
And at this time, I also want to thank Hazel for making this happen, because she, to get Tim rounded up, that's already like a battle right there, right? On a normal day, not even on this kind of a day. On a normal day, it's hard to get fucking Tim wrangled up and get him on here, but so big shout out to Hazel and to Seeds Here Now, of course, for, as always, making this happen just at the nick of time. It was like one of those things where originally this was going to be a Subcool show, and it was like people were all like looking forward to it, because we're going to talk about, Ms. Jill dissing me on some song or some bullshit, you know what I mean? And it's just so petty now compared to like all the shit that's going on, and this has turned into like pretty intense show. Like I was saying earlier, I'm just like, oh my, half crying during the whole show. Like I'm like, fuck. So it's pretty intense.
Yeah, and on that note, I wanted to say, reach out for prayers for Hazel's father, who has some respiratory issues from all the fires from Oregon that have come down into northern Humboldt and really affected his lungs and whatnot. And he got bit heavily by a brown recluse, and it has given him low blood pressure. It's organ failure. They're talking about trying to move him now to Reading or Medford. And he's under some really challenging circumstances right now, and our hearts and thoughts go out to Hazel and her father, too, at this point.
Yeah. Wow, that's tough.
So Gabby's going to call in about 2 minutes and join our conversation. If you guys have any more time, you can hang in there for sure. So, John, you're from Massachusetts or something, or you sound like a Mass guy?
Yep.
Yeah, asshole.
Yep.
You got the you got that Mass hole sound right there. I'm like, oh yeah, didn't ever really notice that. So I think we got Gabby calling in right now. So we got a Mass hole and we got a New York fucking Jew on the line. There we go. This is the perfect conversation. Let's go.
Not a fucking chance. James Dean, seats here now.
Oh, it's not the New York Jew. It's okay. There we go. It's Seats Here Now, the big guy in town.
Seats here now. How you guys doing?
Thanks for putting this
First
all
of all,
together. Thanks for putting this together.
Yeah, thanks to everybody for answering my text. Thanks, John, for answering. Thanks, Stubby, for getting on the phone and dealing with this shit. Thanks, Leo, for talking. Tim, I know you're busy. I appreciate it. But I just, I'm currently driving through, and I've been watching on the TVs, and I just got through Mariposa. Mariposa had a big fire a little bit earlier in the year, about 86,000 acres. And what was amazing is that CAL FIRE, I usually have a lot of respect for CAL FIRE. And then I could see the houses that were dotted. They had missed where CAL FIRE had saved houses. And so, so everybody knows what we're talking about here. I think we're talking about 3,000 buildings that were lost, over 196,000 acres that are still burning.
Wow.
It's just
Yeah, I think it's gone over
Shows
4,000
me up,
buildings now.
But it's just insane because I know that the fire like.
You there?
Well,
What's that?
Oh, no, I think we lost. We
I'll
lost.
tell you what.
All fucking time. It really hurts.
So is that I think we got Gabby now. We got Gabby. Is that Gabby?
This is me.
This is you. Hey, we got so I got John from Lupa Farms on. We got Tim Blake on, and we got James from Seeds Here Now on the line. Just so you know, we're all in a big conversation here. So thanks for calling in.
Started already?
Oh yeah. Oh, we're just in the middle of it all. I mean, we were just talking with Subcool. Also, he just jumped off the line. So we heard his story, which is devastating: molten tungsten and melted cinder blocks, and nothing left, and scorched earth. And then we also have Lumpa Farms. He lost everything too. And we were talking to Tim about the cup to make sure that everything's good with that, which it is, which means that's going to be a real heavy fucking deal this year. It's going to be holy shit. It's going to be a lot of holy shits going on. Tell us. I mean, I know you lost your house, but did you lose your business too, or you lose everything, or no? You didn't.
No, the business is still there. We were obviously closed for a few days. There was no power, no internet. We reopened, I think, on Thursday. I don't know. I haven't been there. I've had, luckily my staff showed up, and they were able to take care of it. But I've been dealing with my family situation because I have a baby. She's 4 weeks old. And so I honestly haven't been able to go to the store, but I know it's still there. Really, nobody's coming because everyone is dealing with their situation, and it's really a bad scene to even just go outside. I went out for a few minutes wearing a mask, and my throat is still totally ripped up. But my story is that on Sunday night or Monday morning, Sunday after midnight, it was super windy, and I was concerned that a tree was going to fall on my car because there's a bunch of trees over my driveway, and the winds were insane. Like, I've never seen winds like this when it wasn't a rainstorm. Sometimes when there's a rainstorm, you get heavy winds, but these were winds by themselves. It was so heavy, I kind of thought something was going to happen. I went outside, and the sky was red. So I ran inside, and I told my lady, hey, look, don't worry. I am going to get in the car and drive around, see where this fire's at, see how much danger we're in. I went around the block, and there was already, police presence, and they were evacuating people really aggressively. They were like, you got to get the F out of here right now.
Oh, shit.
And so, I mean, it was like, they weren't like, hey, you got to go pack some things up. They were like, you got to get your stuff out of here now. And so this was directly around the block from my house. When I got back, 2 minutes later, the police were already all on my street, banging on everyone's doors and telling everybody that they had to get out right away. And at that time, my baby was 3 weeks old. And so we didn't waste any time. We grabbed some diapers and, some onesies that were sitting in a basket, right by our bedroom door. And we got in the cars and left. I left wearing slippers and, pair of sweatpants, and my lady, had what she had on, and that was it.
Right.
And, the rest of the story, is going to be the same for everybody else. Obviously we never made it home, and our entire neighborhood is completely dead. There's not like a single, some neighborhoods, like, I'm watching on the news, there's some neighborhoods that there's a house here and there that made it.
Yeah.
My neighborhood, there's nothing.
Now,
every single house.
Is your neighborhood the one that they've been
ground.
posting a lot of pictures of? That is totally like the one that they were kind of using as the poster. I wouldn't say poster neighborhood, but it's like there's like one neighborhood that keeps showing. There was
two. There was two. One is called Coffee Park,
mm-hmm.
and that one is like right in Santa Rosa. And there was like a Kmart over there, and all these houses that that was the one where a bunch of houses burned, and then there was the house that was spared.
Mm-hmm.
I was up the hill in the Fountain Grove neighborhood, past the hospitals that were on fire. And it's up on the hill a little bit, and that entire neighborhood burned. Like there's just nothing there.
And the hospitals burned to the ground.
It was the hospital didn't burn to the ground, but there was a fire there, and they evacuated 2 out of the 3 Santa Rosa hospitals. So
that's a rough one.
It was
wow.
Yeah.
And so where'd you stay? Where'd you stay the first night? Just friends, or you just found friends?
So the first night when we got evacuated, we drove down to Petaluma and we stayed in a hotel for a couple of nights.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's where like some positive stuff happened, and that's what I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to just be a complete downer on your show and cry to everybody about how my life sucks. I wanted to kind of say the amazing stuff that's been happening
mm-hmm.
to me when this is happening, So my landlord, I was talking to him because it was his house burning down. And I asked him if he would call the rental agency that hooked us up together to where I got the house, so that, to see if they had any place for me. And he said, you know what? You're going to live in my house. And he moved out of his house, like, basically in a moment's notice, like, grabbed all his stuff out of here, except his furniture, nice electronics and stuff like that, just like his clothes. And he's sleeping on the floor in his mom's house.
Wow.
So that me, my lady, and our children don't have to worry about where we're at. And, he told me, you're going to live here as long as you want. And the house is awesome. We love it. It's like, I'm not in a shelter. I'm like in a nice house, I have to pay the rent here, but I'm not homeless, and there's going to be a lot of competition to get housing over here right now.
Yeah, it's going to be, that's what we were just talking about earlier about doing the Emerald Cup. It's going to be weird just because everybody's going to be displaced and hotels are going to be full already. I mean, I can't imagine they're going to clear out for the Emerald Cup. So it's going to be kind of a tough one.
The hotels are going to be a problem, but I'm sure the Emerald Cup will still sell out.
Oh yeah,
so
it'll work.
So then, like, my brother suggested that we set up a GoFundMe page, and people are sending us money. I have no idea who they are, because my GoFundMe got shared, and then, people share it and then share it.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we put a call out saying, hey, you know what? We have no clothes and no diapers and no formula for our newborn child. And, like, we're just like I didn't have a wallet, no credit card, nothing. And all these people, like I said, every time I look at my GoFundMe account, I'm like, I have no idea who these people are. I'm trying to, like, see, am I friends with them? It's like, and I want to be honest to the whole world listening to the Adam Dunn show, because I think you know I try to be an honest guy. I don't think I would have done what other people are doing for me. Oh, I mean, I'm not in this situation. I was never in this situation, but like when I see other people's GoFundMe accounts, I'm like, I don't know this person, you know, and I have a lot of friends and family that need help. And, you know, I always, when I see them, I'm like, man, you know, that sucks, but I don't know this guy. And now, like, my outlook is just, like, completely different because all these people don't know this guy. And they're sending me money because they feel for my situation. And it makes me feel like the human race isn't as shitty as we think a lot of the time. You know, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You know, and I can share one last story real fast because I know I'm taking up the whole time. But yesterday I went to the grocery store, and I didn't have my wallet because I don't have one. I had a couple $100 of cash that, you know, friends gave me, so I had some money. And so I went to the grocery store with $300, and I just grabbed, you know, a bunch of stuff. You know, we had nothing here at the house, and my bill was $530. And so the girl at the checkout line is like, hey, look, we can hold this for you, or you can take what you want, and then we can hold the rest. And so the girl bagging the groceries, who can't get paid much more than minimum wage, is like, I want to pay for this. And everyone's looking at her like, huh? She's like, yeah, you know, I'm going to get my credit card. I'm going to pay for this. And I said to her, look, you know, just cover it, and I'll come right back. You know, I'm 10, 15 minutes away. I'll come back, and I'll give you the money. You know, and she's like, no, I don't want you to do that. Of course, I'm going to go give her the money because to someone bagging groceries, that's like 2 days' pay.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not even
cool
like...
it's cool she didn't ask for it, and then it's just great for you. It'll make you feel good. Just
No, she was telling me, no, please don't come and give it back.
Right.
And I'm like, I can't do that. Yeah. You know, I feel too guilty. You know, so, but, you know, there is, you know, when
there's hope. There's some hope. There's some hope out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, especially, I mean, the thing is, you know, Cali always gets a bad rap for people being all like not like that at all, and it's you know, maybe if it happened in L.A., it might have been a little bit different, but no, NorCal's always going to.
People are pretty cool here in Sonoma County and Mendocino County.
Yeah, no, it's great to see.
If I can, I want to quickly give a shout out to Patrick King. He owns Mendo Roots in Mendocino, and I see he's like trying to, you know, get a whole bunch of donations, and he's organizing a whole bunch of stuff, letting people stay at his place, and I'm like watching him on Facebook, and I'm like, this guy's really out there trying to help. I know Tim knows him, and, you know, probably the other guys too. So I just wanted to, you know, say there are people out there trying to do good things and care, and that's what means the most to me is when I see that people actually care. Like you and Cece contacted me when this happened, and you know, Cece sent me some stuff.
Yeah, you'll get that tomorrow, I think. So it comes on Saturday. So.
Yeah. So I mean, like, it means a lot to me that all these people that I know, that they care. You know, and that's what's going to make it easier to get through this. So I wish I could give you a hug and say thank you in person, Adam, but thank you.
Yeah, thank you. No, thanks for calling in and giving us the little taste. Because, I mean, it's also like it's crazy because it's everywhere. You know, you're in the middle of, you're like in a neighborhood, you know, you're in a neighborhood that you feel like it's not like forest fire zone normally, right? You know, and some people living up in the hills, I mean, you're always kind of like, it's kind of in the back of your mind, you know, that's always like that anticipation that it could happen, you know what I mean? But when you're living in the suburbs, you know, kind of like, I don't know about the suburbs, but you're living in a kind of area that's really tightly built, and you get a fire like that, and it's like jumping from house to house. It's fucking crazy because there's so much toxicness there compared to like, you know, one house by itself on 100 acres or something like that. You know, there might be one area where it's kind of toxic because there's some chemical there, you know, whatever burned up, exploded or whatever. But when you're in a neighborhood like that, it's going to be like, I don't know if it's going to be pretty badly. I think it's going to be pretty toxic ground at that point. I don't know.
Oh, they're already saying it's bad. But you know, the thing that made this situation really unique is, you know, you hear about wildfires in California and other places. Normally they start in more rural areas, like more like the woods, and maybe they threaten homes and stuff. But there's normally more time, even though the fire's moving fast. People normally have a minute to try to get their stuff out. With this situation, me and many people had no time, no warning. It was almost like the way you get no warning with an earthquake. It's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. This happened right now and spread so fast. The fire department, they couldn't even do anything about it. They weren't even trying to put out the fires. They were just trying to get people out. And that's what made this situation unique, because fires happen in California all the time, and throughout the rest of the dry land areas. But this one was crazy.
Right. No, it's a fucking scary thing.
That was a great story. It's very touching, Gabby. My heart goes out to you guys. And Patrick King has done an heroic job down there. He's really just been an amazing individual to watch him over the last year grow and just become so compassionate, full of heart, just giving to everybody. We had a little story in Willits where we were down because there's no water. We were down at the dollar store and picked up what water we could. It was about 8 cases of water, and I was feeling pretty good about it. I thought that's what they had, so I brought it back to the shelter. And we walked in, and they'd gone from the time we left, there was no water left, to where this guy showed up from Humboldt. He'd gone to Costco and brought 2 pallets full and just filled their whole place with water and blankets and stuff, and didn't even say who he was, just left. He wasn't a Mendo or Sonoma guy. He was a Humboldt guy. Didn't want the credit, and he just dropped all that stuff off. And of course, I walked in with my 8 cases thinking, I'd done what I could, and I looked at this guy and was just like, oh my God, this family just took all their time and did that. A couple $1,000 worth of water and clothes and whatnot. It's nice to see that spirit.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he's a super guy. Patrick is, and that's why he's not on the show. And I wanted to make sure that we shouted out to him. And honestly, I think I met him once, but I see him on Facebook and I see what he's doing right now, and the guy deserves a pat on the back at the minimum, and so yeah,
it's
craziness.
Great. It is. So I mean, like you said, you're lucky you got a spot from your landlord. So where's your landlord? He can't get sleep on his mom's floor forever, and he's gonna have to have a better.
So my landlord he's a pilot,
mm-hmm.
and so he only lived in his house a couple of days a week, and the rest of the times he Airbnb'd it.
Mm-hmm.
And because when he said we could come here, I thought it was like a temporary situation so that we could get out of the hotel.
Right.
And then yesterday I went and talked to him, and he said, no, you could stay here for a year or as long as you want. The place is yours. And I'll tell you, he's got nicer stuff in his house than I do, than I did, he's got these nice curved televisions and stuff. And,
oh, Gabby.
So
Gabby got to come up over here out of the situation.
Hey, no, I mean, I'm just saying,
only you, Gabby. Only you would do that. I'm just kidding.
Something bad.
I'm just kidding.
Hey, I mean, it's I'm just saying that, good things are happening in this tragedy to me, and I'm grateful. And I want everyone to know that I'm grateful, that I don't feel that I'm owed anything. And,
mm-hmm.
It's just, that GoFundMe page that got set up for me, I didn't ever expect to get the type of money that people are sending me. And every time I see it, it makes me super emotional because, and the truth is that we're going to have a lot of expenses going forward that I wasn't even thinking of when that GoFundMe account happened. It was just more that was for immediate needs now.
Yeah, right. No,
you know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
but I mean, it's just unbelievable, that people care so much and are being so supportive, and you're sending us packages, and all these people are sending us, the other day I said, because people ask me, what do I need? And I'm like, I don't know. We lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
So at first we were like, look, we just need some baby clothes and, maybe some toys for the kids because we didn't have any, and then I realized we don't have any formula. So I put it out there. I was like, I guess I realized that, I should probably get some baby formula. And today I'm looking at 2 giant boxes of formula that's going to last us probably a month at least. I just put it out there that I needed that, and everyone was like, oh, this is what he needs. Boom. And it's I'm like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
excuse my language, we're on the radio.
No, you can say whatever you want. Say whatever you want.
All right. Holy shit.
Right.
Everyone responded, and I'm like looking at like all these boxes of formula for my baby right now, and I'm just grateful, and I'd rather be grateful than bitter. I'm really glad that they don't think this is arson, because, when it's...
No, me too. That was really scary in the beginning. I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Yeah.
Because if it was arson, I would never get over it.
Yeah.
But this is something that can't be controlled, and, so we're going to try to get over it.
Well, you're right, Gabby. That gratefulness that you come in, you realize that such a wonderful, powerful word. Being grateful just for the air we breathe, our kids, our families, and sometimes we lose track of that. It takes things like this to make us realize and bring people together and extend that family out and help people you don't even know, just because you're grateful for their safety and your lives. And we'll do that. Leo's been talking about putting something together for everybody. And we'll definitely support everybody. We'll here, and we'll get a system going so we can help everybody and get everything we can to them. I got to jump, guys.
Okay.
I appreciate that. They're doing an amazing thing. Eventbrite now, because of this administration, I think through Visa, but we're not sure, has decided that cannabis events are not viable opportunities, and so Eventbrite's going to shut down the Emerald Cup and any cannabis event for ticketing. And so we're going to have to have an emergency call to talk about forming our own ticketing companies to support cannabis events. And so it's maybe the thing goes on, but it's very trivial compared to what everybody's facing. And I'm glad your family's safe. You too, John, and everybody there. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Tim, for calling.
I'll be in touch.
Yep.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Love
Tim.
you all.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, Tim. Be well.
So, definitely some crazy shit going on out there. So we got everybody left on. We got John, Leo. Is Leo still on?
We have 2 people on.
Okay, no, it's just Gabby and John, right?
I'm still here, but I've been talking your listeners' ears off, so I could shut up for a while.
That's okay. I mean, whatever. We're gonna round it up anyway because I know everybody's got so much on down there. I'm grateful that everybody managed to stay on the line for so long. Thanks, John, for staying on. We got like another 7 minutes anyway, so we can just kind of all wrap it up together, and then I'll do my shout outs, and then we will be done. But what was the? I know that James is going to do a seed auction for you guys, but what else, you guys have any are you guys having some GoFundMe pages or anything like that right now set up?
Yeah, folks set them up. I haven't even. I like Gabby said, man. It touches your heart, and like it's folks like us not normally look the type that ask for help. I guess we're our thing. We go get, we go do, and man, there's so many people down and out. I mean,
it's Wolf.
Everywhere.
Wolf. Hang on there one sec. Hang on there one sec.
No problem.
Our thing, we go get, we go do, man, there's so many people down and out.
Wolf, is that you?
Yep.
You got your thing turned on because I think we got an echo. We have an echo going on. Or no?
Yeah, I'm on the cell phone. I turned off the.
Good job. So we got
turned off the sound.
We got Mr. Wolf Siegel just jumped in on the conversation. So Wolf, we got John from Loompa Farms on, and we have Gabby from Garden Spout down in Santa Rosa. Both of them lost their houses, and Loompa lost everything actually. So we didn't want to get into it. We're not going to get into that part, but.
I hear you. That sucks, big time. For what it's worth, whatever we can do up here, as far as genetics, we will. I've talked to half a dozen people up here, and besides what James is doing, anything that we have that we can help people with down there, we're going to be delighted to do so.
Everything else, lots of people in need.
Hey, so did you guys talk about how? Besides the loss of genetics, right now everybody's crops are just that. If they didn't take them down, they're just gone. They're garbage. Even if they didn't get burned, it's all smoked out.
Hopefully, I'm reaching out to extractionists and a couple of companies.
I think if we can, as a community, if we can get some machines down there and some good extractionists, at the very least we can help whoever has something left to salvage. I think it would be really good if we could do that, just because, so it's not a total loss for them.
Yeah, it's
I was
What's
told
going
by
on
an
here?
extractionist that I know.
I'd like to
Go
I'd like to say that, you know, we have a ranch site that we're working on doing that. We don't have the equipment yet. We've got the folks that can run it and the place that can do it. I'd like to thank the Yokeo Roots folks and Ukiah for giving us.
Take a look, and we'll be back to talk to you.
Thank
okay?
you for giving us, you know, some space to get some stuff from the evacuated areas out. You know, it's only good for extraction at this point because we're never treated a plant like this, man. Throwing it in trailers and all stuff. You know, it's like
right.
No, I was told that you can't even use it for extraction. Is that not true?
That you can't. I mean, it depends how bad it's smoked out. I mean, the problem is that when you do extractions, you do end up, you know, I mean, all the flavors come through. So it's like, you know, you can't really. I mean, you could turn it to distillate probably and clean it all up, and then that's about. You know, I mean, there's
which is better than nothing.
The only option.
I think
it's the only option.
I think it's the
but
only
as
option.
I understand it, I could understand it wrong, but if they get it to the point of extract, I think you can centrifuge it clean. You can centrifuge it into layers and pull it.
Yeah, I mean,
pull the junk off.
It's gonna.
But all those terps that we all love are gone.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'll never be. There won't be any of the. That's why you're better off just making distillate or isolate out of it and just being like, forget about it. Don't even care about flavor anymore. You know. Because
yeah, but at least it's something. It's not someone put in a whole summer and has nothing.
Right. No, we got.
That's true.
We got to get everything counts right now. So we have somebody else on the line. I think joined us, or welcome to the Adam Dunn
Show.
Show.
It was Leo. I lost you on the call.
Oh, it was Leo. Okay, cool.
Driving through.
Gotcha.
Mendo.
Oh yeah, gotcha. Yeah, no problem. It's horror stories, or you just where you at right now? Driving wise. I was just saying, where you're driving now, is it a burned up place, or is it like you're in a normal spot?
Yeah, no, we're driving around Ukiah area. We just got back into the center. We were just checking on some people that were at Tomcat, Redwood Valley. Got to check on, see how they're doing. And it's just kind of crazy around here. You know, there's tons of planes flying all over the place. I've never seen so many, fire trucks and service vehicles. It's kind of wild. There's a ton of families just walking around, Ukiah. You can definitely see the displacement. It's kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's.
But yeah, we're just trying to do what we can for people that hit us up. If anybody's listening, and you guys, you're in the Ukiah area, Santa Rosa area, Aficionados is always down to help you guys out. DM us on the IG. We got diesel flatbeds we can let you guys use and some extra fuel. If we could be of assistance in any way. So hit us up. Since I'm on the horn right now, Adam, thanks. Just want to let you know, I was talking to Tim Blake about this, and, if any breeders, on the show are listening right now, and you guys want to donate some, really nice seed packs, we're going to start doing some auctions off the IG and donating all the money to Subcool and John, to help rebuild their farms. It's kind of like a breeders coming together and helping the other breeders in the community out.
Right.
And that's kind of what we're doing. So, if we could all come together on this, we'd love to raise some money for these families and just make sure they're taken care of, because we all got the resources, we all got the followings, and I think we could use all, what we have for the better.
No, sounds a good, definite plan. You can count me in on that. And anybody out there that has things to offer, just, I guess they can contact you, on IG?
Yeah, either myself or the Emerald Cup crew. I talked to Tim Blake. If you hit them up, we're gonna I'll be running. I'll start running the auctions from the Aficionado site this week as things start trickling in, and I'm gonna auction some of my own stuff off, and so I could donate the money to Subcool and John. I really respect those two guys. So, and especially with John Loop, the guy's he survived the war. He's a vet like me, and I feel his pain on a closer level because, you survive war and then you survive in this industry, which is almost like a daily war. And then, only to have everything you worked hard for, just disappear, it's just kind of heartbreaking. And, just really want to be able to help these guys out.
It's awesome to hear.
Man, it means a lot.
Yeah, man.
It means a lot.
Great
Big
to have
a
a
good
big guy.
community around us. We're strong.
Fucking airborne, homie. We got you, dude.
So
there's a lot of other folks that need help too, man. It's not just us, So
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Most definitely.
It's definitely humbling to have everybody step up and offer stuff, but at a certain point, it's like this. You want to give too, And like, I mean, I haven't even stopped, We just keep on going, man. We've been doing runs into these different areas and pulling folks' crops out and the crops that are still in the safe zones that we can't get to, and it's pretty.
Yeah, it's totally
gonna sleep good when it's over.
Right. No, it must be just. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking at the same time as it's like it's adrenaline shit too, because you're cruising around with fucking truckloads of weed and like having to slowly go through it's like going through a war zone at the same time. You know what I mean? It's just nuts. My friend of mine at the property that I have out here, the same exact thing happened where they were there before me and they had like the cops telling them to leave and they had to go up and classically get the truck and fill it up with weed and just roll past a bunch of cops and fire department and just get waved through and then be like, now what the fuck we're gonna do? We got this whole truckload of weed, we don't know what the fuck we're going with it. And there it's even crazier because I mean, and it also as you see, it's like you got to make extract out of it because really it's just the weight of the cannabis on top of itself in a truck sweating up for a couple hours and it's just fucking things are going. It's active as shit. You know what I mean? It's like it's almost.
Never cut so many plants in such a small amount of time and treated them in such a rough way. It's like
it's
not the usual routine. That's
well, no, yeah, you're like, this is what cops do. This is how cops harvest weed right here, motherfuckers. They come in and they don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? They're just throwing it. Who cares? And then as you watch them, you're just like, you fuckers. Just like I can't believe it. But then you're in that situation, you're just almost like. Got to move as fast as possible, I guess. So how many? Well, you guys had U-Hauls or something? I mean, not U-Hauls, but like box trucks or?
Yeah, and box trucks and trailers. It's just been a team effort. Like the pharmacy, Mark from the pharmacy factory guys, and Tony the honeysuckle guys, and the Yokeo Roots Ranch guys. I mean, it's everybody stepped up. We've gone and run all over the place. Everybody needs help, and you can't do it by yourself. So it's like a team goes here, a team goes there. We make the best of it.
Right.
Hey, is Tony okay?
Tony's okay. Yep. Francis is, as far as we know, everything is still alive, but the fire is very close, and man. It's stressful, but we're all together. Everybody's basing out of Tony's place. Thank God they've got a nice spot that we're all able to kind of run a little community out of here right now. So it's bringing us all together.
Yeah, there's going to be some. I mean, just the amount of. People who like we were saying earlier, maybe didn't ever talk to each other, even though they would live, X amount of. Now they're like, living together because there's only one of them has a house, or maybe not, or they don't even. Neither of them have a house, and they're fucking living in a hotel together or whatever. But it's going to be a lot of mended fences and changed conceptions of people and stuff in the next years. Just because some people step up, some people, it's like and. Hopefully most people, but still some more than others even, and so these kind of situations they bring out the real fucking, just core shit out of people, and I think that's the one thing about cannabis people is we're also fucking been slapped around so much that we're all just like, well, fuck, it's just like, really, at harvest time, are you fucking kidding me right now? That's pretty much the reality that everybody's in, like it was just like, it's they got robbed of everything, and that's it's some. For me, it's heavy shit. I just it's crazy. It makes me fucking like get right in there because I'm just like, oh my God, there's so much, you know.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Sit and wallow on the couch? Get out there and be productive, and
Yeah.
you know, put the feet forward.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so much to be done, and you know, it actually makes things go better when you're, you know, involved and fucking making it happen instead of waiting for somebody to come there and fix it because that ain't gonna fucking happen. You know what I mean? It's like when it's like as a grower, you always like would be the best. In my opinion, you're always the best renter because you never complained. You'd fix everything yourself. You know what I mean? You'd be like, "Fuck it, I'll fix it. I don't care. I don't want no guys in my place." You know what I mean? So you go in and you'd fix all their bathroom for them or their toilets or whatever, just because you're not letting any motherfucker in that building, and you're not gonna have a shitty toilet. You know what I mean? So in the end, you take on all the bills and you pay all the fucking their mortgage, and that's the shitty part is a lot of these people. You know, I mean, in a way, if you were renting, you're better off. You know what I mean? Because you don't have to fucking deal with the fucking fallout as much. But if you're, you know, a lot of these people just bought the property, you know, just because they want to make sure that they're not going to get fucked over for the first, you know, I'm never going to get fucked over again. And all of a sudden, you know, they got fucked over bigger than they ever fucking thought. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. So that's where I feel because I know that side of it all. And it's like, that can be fire, that can just be a shitty landlord, that can be whatever it can be, but it can always, we're like always like in the targets, you know what I mean? We're always like, so it's crazy when shit like this goes down because it's like, fuck, but it affects everybody. It's not just the growers, it's everybody. But when it affects a lot of growers, it's pretty crazy because I feel for it, you know, because I'm like, shit, it's like, everything's gone, you know. And that's
Yeah, you know what? We all still have the skin on our hands. You know, that's all I can think of is, you know, I wasn't even home when my buddy Tony called. You know, I woke up and I went to use the restroom, and I lied back down and I'm like, man, this sleeping bag smells like smoke, and I just didn't even think twice. You know, I'm like, it must have been by the fire.
Right.
And then the phone rings. He's like, dude, go outside, and there's flames everywhere. I couldn't even get to my house where my wife and kid were. You know, I was like driving through flames, and I couldn't make it in. And it was, and then to like finally see them and like know that they were okay, I was like nothing else even mattered. You know.
Yeah. No, and that's it. You get into that. You get snap into that mode where you just know exactly what. There's only that, you know what I mean? There's nothing else. It's like, fuck everything else. And even though it later will hit you, you know, you're like, oh shit, that sucks and this sucks. But yeah, it's all about your health and your family and all that. You know, that's it. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, that's pretty much what it's all about, you know?
Could always be worse.
Right. Well, it's been a pretty crazy show for me, actually. I've been actually because I've been watching the fires and I've been feeling it, but at the same time, I haven't really, I talked to a few people and everybody I've talked to has been safe. And then to talk to you guys, it's like, fuck, that's so close and crazy. And like, it's amazing that everybody's okay, which is great. And I mean, it's like, at the end of the day, I think most of the people that actually died were all like elderly people, which, I mean, it sucks, but at least it was, it wasn't like, a higher number of people that were like really struggling for it. You know what I mean? It was like, they're fucked.
There's like one 14-year-old, I guess, out of the whole group. But yeah.
And what was crazy up here was there's a lunch whistle that blows every day at noon, and it was silent out there, and I just can't get over the fact that there was no warning, nobody had the foresight to set off an alarm or like. There was no sirens, like these people slept in their beds, and I just can't help but think that more people could have been saved if there was an alarm.
Yeah.
Or it's really been bothering me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and we don't even know because I mean it's like they're gonna. I mean now it's 31, I believe, and then 33 even. Yeah, see, it's been and that was only a couple like yesterday or last night or something. Yeah, so it's going to creep up, which is, even more heartbreaking. And then all the animals on top of that, which is just like, that's the crazy thing for me. It's like animals and fucking, just the recovery is going to be intense. And, I mean, I'm happy that I can hear already the hope in some people that it's like, we will persevere for sure. We know that. But it's going to change the fucking, it's definitely a 9/11 of fucking, humble county. You know what I mean? As far as like the reality, like it's maybe not. Hopefully, it's not as government run thing like that. But no, it's like it's just that intense of a thing where it's gonna literally be the before and after thing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you didn't live here before that. Oh, okay, you came after. So that's gonna be a pivotal point in everybody's fucking life. Plus, it was just
Nobody's gonna forget anytime soon.
yeah, and it's also like a pivotal time because we were just about to go fucking legal, and it was just like everybody was gearing up, and there was so much like Tim was saying, there's so much money that was being spent on bullshit that is now just literally who gives a fuck, you know what I mean? It's like you can't even like use the license that you had, which well, great, whatever. And there's time frames on those, and by the time you ever recover, it's not even valid anymore. So it's like great, it's like fuck, there's a lot of weird timing things, that's why this thing was one of those things where I was like, couldn't have come at a fucking worse moment in anybody's time frame, at all. And the fact that it was such a nice condition for growing weed is like, well, we know what that means. It's like there's no fucking moisture anywhere, So, I guess I'm going to stop-ish here. I'm going to do some shout-outs after I drop you guys off the line, but I was really glad to talk to you guys. I'll get you on when the dust settles a little bit, but obviously we'll see each other at the Emerald Cup, and we're going to follow the auctions on your site there, Leo, and anybody who's got anything to contribute, please do, because now's the time to step up to the plate and fucking give some, back where they're going to need it most. And yeah, it's like it's going to be the strangest Emerald Cup ever, but I'm definitely looking forward to it, and it's going to be one of those. It's going to be weird. It's going to be weird, but let's all make the best of it, and I'll get you hopefully on the show, John, whenever you get a chance, and good luck with the rebuild. I mean, it's going to be rough, but like I said, it sounds like you got a good team of people, which is important. That's the whole key to all this industry is having a good crew around, because when shit goes down, you fucking that's like the real shit, like something like that. And the thing is weird is like, I mean, we all kind of have that fire drill mode in our heads anyway when it comes to moving plants, and abusing plants isn't really the same thing, but when it comes to moving plants, there's plenty of times I've been like, fuck, we gotta really move all these things at the middle of the night with a U-Haul and fucking sneak through fucking, so we're kind of used to that, and that's always been like kind of fun in its own weird way, because it was like, even though it was super illegal and it was kind of like ridiculous if you got pulled over and you had to open the back, you're just gonna not be able to, you're just gonna laugh, because you're going to laugh, you know what I mean? And so I think we've all been through that side of it all, but when it's a situation where that it's just like stacking dead bodies in the back of a truck, you're kind of like, fuck, this is like, that is truly apocalyptic right there. And I'm sorry that you guys had to deal with it, and I fucking wish you guys the best luck, and I'm going to contribute as much as I can to help you out.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Adam. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys, man. It was awesome.
Bye, everyone.
All right, peace.
I'm signing off. I got to go take care of Kitty.
All right, man. Thank you, and glad you found your cat. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
I had
going to make the kid's day.
I had a fire, and the cat was the only thing that I cared about. And in the middle of the fire, he kind of ran. Like when the fire was dead, but it was just me sitting in a burnt-out room. He kind of crawled out from the basement, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's so good!" It was the best moment of my life. I was like, "Oh, the cat is alive." That's all I fucking cared about, you know what I mean? I knew the plan. I knew everything else was gone. So, all right, well, thanks for calling in, and thanks, Leo, for calling in.
I just wait. Well, shit.
I got Seats Here Now is in the house all of a sudden, last second to say I didn't.
Everybody wants to. Yeah. Everybody wants to leave, but I just got here. Shit.
Oh man! Well, tell us your auction and what we're gonna do. Yeah, everyone, now that you're on, everybody really wants to go. They're like,
they're like, fuck it out. No, I think so. Leo's got enough shit to do with all his stuff and taking care of his people and whatnot. So I'm sure he wouldn't mind. I'm sure if you guys just want to send any email. To info@SeedsHereNow. We can my staff can run through all those, and we have a way that we'd like to run the auctions to where everything keeps in the chain of custody is not broken, so to say. So there's not people mailing around mad packs. there's not people paying for things that they don't get. We have a system that seems to work out well. And so then we can host those on the Cedarholics auction site that we have. So
okay, nice. And then
man, good idea. And anybody I gave a shout out to send aficionado stuff for the auctions, just shoot to James. And if it comes to me, I'm going to shoot it to James anyway.
Perfect. Yeah,
that's a good central location for these auctions.
Yeah, it makes more sense. You got it built right there for him. That's awesome.
Yep, and I know that I'm gonna go ahead and dig deep and throw out the challenge. It's all the other breeders that I currently carry and ones that I don't yet. I'm going to dig deep and I'm going to find my oldest, deepest, darkest pack, whatever that may be, and I'm going to throw that in the pile to auction off. That's the gauntlet. I ask all my other guys to do the same. Go to your fridges, find something, because like John said, a lot of people are hurting. I mean, it's devastating to see, because I don't even think we're at the top of the death count yet, and I mean 4,000 houses. It's just this fire jumped a 7-lane highway. I mean, a 7-lane highway. This fire was such a massive beast. Mm-hmm. So everybody's dig deep, and there's a lot of people lost everything, and we didn't all have bank accounts. So I think it's devastating to see, and so I definitely appreciate John and stuff coming on, because you guys are in that shock, that adrenaline phase. That's just you got to be just working on adrenaline, just going and doing what you got to do to help everybody out. But I'm waiting for the earthquake. I'm down in the fucking Paso Robles, so Richmond, the center of the world's most active earthquake.
I heard there was just an earthquake in Ukiah.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly.
Over here, that's next. But so just shoot us that stuff for the auctions. We'll run all that stuff off, and we'll also put like a button on the website that says donate, like a $5 donation or a $10 donation. You can add to any order, and all that money will go straight through. Leo can attest all the auction money that we've raised for him he's gotten 1,000%. So, I know that Ethos is going to donate. You said 500 packs, so that's a lot.
Nice.
Boom! Wow.
Yeah,
you guys are great.
I appreciate everyone
stepping up to the plate.
Definitely, and thanks again. Shout out to Hazel Emerald Cup for getting this all together and putting everybody together. So I appreciate her and for doing this.
She's the best.
For sure.
Definitely. Thanks, you guys. I'm out of here. You guys have a good day.
Okay. We're wrapping it all up anyway.
Thank you.
Thank Leo for showing up. Thank John
for having me on, man.
Yeah. Thank Caesar
Adam.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll be donating. I don't know about 500 packs right out of the can. I'll do 100 packs. How's that? So we'll definitely. Well, we'll throw down some seeds for sure. I want to we guess we got to finish our shout outs, because we were right in the middle of it when we started the actual thing. Anybody else still on the line?
2 people.
Okay, we had a new person. Who's a new person?
I'm still here.
Okay. And Wolfie. Forgot about Wolf.
Hey, how's it going?
Wolf's just hanging in the corner and being all Wolfie like. What's going down?
I'm playing stealth, I'm listening and learning and admiring people that are stepping up to do the right thing. It's kind of nice. I've been very discouraged about the industry for the last couple of weeks.
I noticed that.
Seeing people step up and take care of each other really makes me feel good.
Good.
Really a lot,
Yeah, I mean, because you're up in Oregon, right? So you guys had a bunch of fires up there that were affecting everybody. So it's kind of, it's very close to home, literally. So I guess, what's the...
No, it's real.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go for it. Go for it, Wolf.
Well, I mean, it was weird. We had a fire over east of town. For Portland to smell forest fires is like crazed, and it wasn't even close. It's. I mean, I listened to like those guys driving through fires and shit. That's like spooky stuff. But seeing the team do it, seeing everyone stand up and help is amazing. Nick Reynolds from down at Constant Gardener is headed down there with Schmoll from Grossmith. They're taking a pickup full of stuff down to Pat King's place. So it's nice seeing it happen. It makes me feel so much better about this industry after the last few weeks. It's
Well, it's gonna.
Cool.
I mean, it's
very cool.
it's very interesting to see, but it's also like because it's all it's everybody at the same time. You it's different than if it's like because we're used to friends going down in a weird way. Like it got almost to the point where because everybody's like getting legal, and then if you're running kind of on the borderline or whatever. When those people went down, they're stupid. They ran their plank count or whatever reason. What's like kind of like getting jaded almost and not really giving a fuck about people as much because they spent all their money on their legal operation or whatever, and everybody's like now jacking on other people. Just the attitude was getting a little weird. Like there was definitely a split. Like there was, the people who invested millions or not of their own money, so they're like on the hook for millions, and now everybody who's doing what they did a year ago or 2 years ago is an asshole because they're not, they put in invested the money or whatever. And now you see a situation like this where people were on the fence about to go legal. And a lot of those people, because it's NorCal, it's always been a little bit like outlaw mentality anyway. But when you're outlaws, you also have a kind of code and everybody lives by a code and that's the fucking way it goes. And the code when the shit goes down is to fucking make shit make it happen and fucking get, it's not like, but at this time, I think people were caught. Even the people who have their wits about them were caught off guard because it's the timing, the nighttime, and just all the things about it are so scary that when you actually listen to somebody tell a story, you're like, fuck, I don't even know if that. I don't know what I would do. Nobody knows. Everybody thinks they're like, oh yeah, I would be getting this and doing that. When fires are so scary, even if it's your own fire just in a house, it's terrifying. But when it's all around you. It's like above and beyond.
Yeah.
Hey,
who else we got on the
line? Can I add one thing real quick?
Yep.
This is Gabby still. I just want to add one thing. If
yeah, for sure, Gab.
So when I told my story before, I said that, when I saw other people's GoFundMe pages and I didn't know them, I always was like, well, I'm sorry I can't do something because I got enough of my own friends and family in need.
Right.
That's not the way I feel anymore. And so, I feel like, hopefully I'm becoming a better person for having to deal with this situation. To seeing the good that other people do make me want to step up who I am. I try to be a better person every day, but sometimes you get a little inspiration to help you make you a lot better person in a shorter period of time.
Yeah, over like in a heartbeat almost, but literally in the next 48 hours of just watching people's, or maybe the next 72 hours. It is crazy because it's like you guys are dealing with such a huge thing all around you. You know what I mean? And I mean it's obviously the best to take the best thing you can out of any bad situation and make it into something positive, and you're going to see a lot of that. But are you gonna we're gonna live? You think? Oh, you know we're gonna live. Sorry, I was gonna say you got it figured out. You got it all figured out. But what do you think the people in your neighborhood? What do you think the people in your neighborhood are gonna be like? Did you have a lot of? Were you close with your neighbors and stuff in that area, or were you kind of doing your thing? And
I was friendly with them, but not like super close.
Right.
Because I just moved there last October, and I got an old man living next to me that wasn't very friendly. But I wave to my neighbors when I come and go and stuff. I don't even have any of their phone numbers or anything like that.
Right.
So,
are you gonna? So do you think? Are they gonna rebuild that neighborhood right away, or are they gonna like kind of fucking just bulldoze it and kind of wait?
I talked to my landlord, and he's already he's gonna build the same exact house there that was there because he's already got the architectural plans. And
right. It's just gonna be rebuilt. Like
how long it's gonna take because the people that do the construction are going to be in really high demand.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be hard for everyone to, get the labor to get stuff built right away. But you know what? Sonoma County is a beautiful place to live.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
People are going to live here. People are going to look at this as an opportunity.
Right.
A lot of people are going to leave, and in the short term, it's going to be bad because there's not enough housing. But I don't think that Sonoma County is going. And now, there's going to be some negative stuff to the economy, and there's going to be positive stuff. The wine industry is crushed right now.
I was going to say the vineyards must be just hurting so bad.
Right.
That's going to be.
But construction is going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Like I said, I'm trying to be optimistic, but I just wanted to say that, hopefully this is going to make a better person out of me. And,
well,
like I said, I before I wouldn't do what I would do now for other people. Now that I've seen what, I want to be a good person, and I see other people doing things that are better than what I would do, and I'm like, hey, I got to step my game up.
Right. Well, that's awesome to hear, Gabby. I will definitely send you some more stuff in the future once you figure out what. Just tell us what you need, and then we'll make it happen. Wolfie.
Yes, sorry.
I'll let you guys go.
All right, man, Gab. Thanks for talking to us. Garden Spout is going to be open. Is open now, eventually, officially.
It's open.
Okay.
It's open.
So,
not many people are really coming right now because they're dealing with heavy stuff, But we've been open the last couple of days. We were closed for 3 days because we had no power and no internet, which system requires. But we're back.
People are going to be needing some start trays and some small pots again. It's going to be a whole new world. It'll be like, oh shit, they're not buying those 800-gallon smart pots anymore. They're just buying these little fucking tiny cups. You know what I mean? You have to do.
Well, it might be good for me. A lot of people might start going indoors because right now outdoor growing is a little bit discouraging.
Sure.
So, maybe we'll sell some gear.
There you go. Well, now you can start paying forward with your company if you guys do start to make some money. Just do some crazy seedling special deals, and I'm sure you can get super creative because you do actually have a means to give back, which is awesome because you're actually been servicing for. How long's your shop been open for, by the way?
15 years.
Right, and you've been
15 years.
This is the 15th year anniversary.
Actually, excuse me, we're 16 years now, but
so old enough to drive.
Yeah.
You're old enough to drive. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So
we had the first indoor garden shop in all of Mendocino County.
Yeah, that's crazy. That was some forethought there. Now, how many are there? Like 50 more, 100?
Yeah. No, not in Mendocino.
I know it's not that big of an area.
Mendocino went through like a spurt where it was a great place to grow indoors, and then when the prices dropped, then it became more of an outdoor growing country again.
Mm-hmm.
But, when I opened up my store, indoor growing in Mendocino County was really going through the roof.
Right.
And, not so much anymore, but, we'll see what happens.
Sure. Well, good luck with that. Thanks for calling in and giving your story. It was good. It was definitely a good show. Wolfie, what are you going to do? You're going to finish us off. You're finishing us off. We're doing the 6:30.
Okay. Well, then in the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you if you can help the people down in California, do it. If you can't, help someone near you because that's what our movement started in. Good enough?
Very good, very good. I like that. Yeah, because the reality is, of course, and it was also when I was sending Gabby's package in the mail, the woman at the counter here was from California, and she was all like teared up about it and was like, oh, because I was like, I'm sending baby clothes to my friend. He doesn't have anything. He lost all his shit. And she was like, I got all his clothes too. I'll bring them. And I was like, well, we could make it time. So
we're
people
a
are
family.
ready. Exactly.
We're a community.
Yeah. And this is late at the
and
post
families
office.
And communities argue and fight, and then they stand up for each other.
Yeah. Well, hopefully more people get that feeling. I think we know that within the cannabis community, we do already have that. We'll bitch and moan and fight and all that, but at the end of the day, when it comes down, when the shit goes down, we usually come through. You know what I mean? Most of us, and I think it's pretty much obvious in this situation. And this is the oldest community out there. You know what I mean? That's not maybe down in the Arkansas or something crazy. There might be a few older ones down there, but as far as like real communities when it comes to cannabis, that's the fucking spot. You know what I mean? It always has been, and it's heartbreaking to see, but we're gonna do our best and make it work. So I want to thank you, Wolfie. I've got to do 3 more shout outs and then close off the show. So get off my line.
Excellent.
I'll talk soon.
Hopefully I'll get down there to the cup and see you guys down there.
Yeah, you definitely will. I'm 100% sure I will see you there, if not before.
That would be outstanding. Cool.
All right,
cool.
Take care, Wolf.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, peace. That was Mr. Wolf Siegel, the inventor of the Sea of Green. He came up with that concept as far as, putting a name to it and showing it in Sensimility Tips. He printed it, He was known as Farmer in the Sky. That was his avatar. So very, very cool guy. And thanks to everybody for calling in. Thanks for this, tuning in on the show. It's pretty heavy. Every day is another heavy thing in this country, but this was pretty damn close to home. Even though we're in Colorado and they're in California, but if we have the same vibe, same feeling. Everybody who grows here has dealt a lot. There's a lot of forest fires here. People have dealt with it too, so we kind of have once you've been through any kind of situation, fire, it doesn't matter whether it's forest or home or whatever. It's such a major thing that it's like, and I've had 2 in my life, and they're both been like kind of terrifying. So it's like one of those things where you're like, all right, definitely don't want to go through that again. But for so many people now, same thing, which is crazy. And it's the scary part for me is the fact that when you hear stuff like you need to come bring your lawyer to your property because they're not going to let you go. Just like that's kind of like, there's going to be a lot of scared growers who don't want to deal with the fucking bullshit after all this, that are traumatized already. Now this is just making it even worse. So there's going to be a lot of people getting their shit ripped off probably. And I don't know, a lot of people, just going to be weird. Very weird shift in the cannabis world. But seedsherenow.com, thank you for putting that all together. James is the man. He literally, like Johnny on the spot, had it all going, got everybody, ready on time. We were sorry we were late. We tried. We battled Comcast. It was a fucking. I always go through the same shit. I get like, I don't know. Now I finally got it cleared up, but it took me like 2 hours today. So I'm sorry about that. I should have taken 10 minutes, but it turned into 2 hours. Classic fucking Xfinity bullshit. Fuck Xfinity. But we love Build-A-Soil. Buildasoil.com. If you want to check them there, whatever they have in stock, and also you can build your own soil, obviously, kind of like the name makes sense. Custom blends, anything you want, always organic, obviously 100% approved products, and they're also, if you look through they're super hard to find stuff. Dehydrated coconut, things that your plants. Basically, when you look at a lot of their ingredients, you're like, fuck, I would eat 90% of the shit in here. Put it on my body at least. It's some sort of oil or whatever. Good IPM program, super clean shit. Jeremy's the man. He's put it all together under one roof, delivered to your door, and talk to anybody there. Give them a call. They'll fucking tell you what's going on. Their staff is awesome. 8 what is it? 8? Give us their fucking telephone.
855-877-SOIL.
Boom. 855-877-SOIL. If you want to call direct, talk to a human being, or just go to buildasoil.com and just be a robot and be like, robot, must order food, must order soil. Grow Life Eco. It's Grow Life. We just call them Grow Life. Our latest sponsor is Grow Life. We're on the show last week, 2 weeks ago. Was it last week?
It was last week.
Last week only, yeah. See, that was a crazy week.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, a lot of shit happened in that week. Holy fuck. Anyway, we had Matt on the show. If you want to check out last week's show, these guys are basically the link between the distributors and the consumers, that are doing big things. This is not for. I mean, you can definitely get small amounts from them too, but this is really if you're working in a legal grow and you guys think your bottom line prices are the best, you can contact them, tell them what you guys are running through. They can do a side-by-side and throw a number at you, and they deal with all the distributors themselves. It makes your life a lot easier, and maybe it's a fucking good number. Maybe it's not. Try it out. Give them a call. If you can do that, make some good sales, they'll be stoked, because I mean that's part of what they do. But they're saving a bunch of money, so they should be able to make it work for you, because a lot of times, even though we all have, we have our accounts and we go to our grow shops and stuff, we're also like, the reality is when you leave to go to the grow shop, you're costing money. I mean, if you're a talent and you're actually wasting time in a grow shop, then you're really wasting time. And if you're not, if you're sending a bunch of noobs down there, they always end up coming home with something wrong or too much of the wrong thing or whatever. This way, it's all custom blended for you. They can put together a nice packet, give you the price, and like I said, side by side, make some comparisons. Grow Life
Eco.com,
exactly. And like I said, watch the show from last week. Matt is his name, I believe, right? It was Matt. Yeah, it was Matt from Girl Life.
I think so.
Sure was. Matt Z, I believe is it is. Matt Z from Grow Life. And also, I have missed one of our things. Oh, wow. Wallace, Ron Wallace.
Oh.
Wallace. Find him. You have to look him up, I think. We had him on the show also 2 weeks ago. Or was it 2 weeks ago? A week ago? I forget. Maybe it was last week. It was only last week. Mr. Ron Wallace, he was on the show with his gigantic pumpkins. He didn't go as big this year, but he definitely produces a lot of the genetics that get used by other people. But his genetics were the world record combined with a squash. They did a squash pumpkin hybrid, and it fucking turned into some 2,000-pound thing. So look up pumpkin squash world record right now, and you'll see it, I bet. So go to look that up. Wallace, what is it? Ron Wallace's the WOW formula was the website, right? Wasn't it?
WallaceWow.com.
WallaceWow.com, something like that. WallaceWow.com. Check them out. Did you got world record squash? Did you do squash?
Pumpkin squash world record?
No, just do squash right now, this year, 2017. And it's going to be a 2,000-pounder, and that is his hybrid. They've done a little hybridizing there. They said, fuck you, Europe. And they fucking blasted past, it went from, I think it was 800 pounds to 1,500 pounds. That's it right there. 2,000 pounds. 2020, right?
2,118.
Oh, wow, 118, even bigger. Fuck. That's a big-ass squash, right? So, but it has a little bit of the, it's got a little bit of pumpkin genetics in there. So, and that was my friend Cam who actually came up with that idea, which is pretty funny. So he said, hey, you guys could just cross it with that. And you're like, no, that wouldn't be. Yeah, it would. Like all of a sudden, boom, they got in there. So you can watch that show. Amazing grower. Doesn't matter what he touches. He's got 10-pound tomatoes and fucking 2,000-pound pumpkins and squashes that his friends growing, and guys know how to grow some big stuff. I gave him some seeds last year, so I want to see how big can you make it. Yeah, this guy can grow. He's from Rhode Island also, so another East Coaster. And if you want to check out his website, pick up the products. I got about 9 different products, and it's got real good. I mean, you got to imagine this guy knows his rhizosphere. So if you want to get root developing products, you want to work with this guy. But then you also got to think endo-exto. So if you look at the mycorrhizal products that he's pushing, you want to go with the endos, not ectos so much. Even though they use a lot of ectos in pumpkins, so you gotta double check your things. But he pretty much is beginning to understand now, and if you ever looked at the Mycos products from what is that, the whatever Gardner swag. If you look on the back of the one on the left there, the bottom left, what's the name of that one there? I always forget. Huh?
That's Azos.
Yeah, Azos. Yeah, exactly. So look on the back of their bag, and you'll
Extreme gardening.
Extreme gardening. That's what I knew it was something swag gardening, I always say, but it is actually extreme gardening. Okay, there you go. If you look on the back of that, whenever you're in a grow shop, there is a guy on the back of there with a giant pumpkin. That is Mr. Wallace. They've been using his image for years because they know that's the shit. It's all about because you can't imagine that thing is being supported by that one little tiny fucking thing on its end. You're like, holy shit. That's a fucking pumpkin. But pick up some of their product. Give them a heads up that you got it from here. He'll throw something in extra. Or at least he'll give it the magic juju because I'm telling you, that guy can grow some shit. So get some stuff from Ron. And that is it for our sponsors, I believe. For sure. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. I want to also thank just everybody for calling in. Mark here at MTI at the wheels here. He managed to stay a little extra, but it was a good show. It was worth it. It was hella worth it. Good sound, too, because we could pull up all, people who were low got pulled up properly. Mm-hmm. Thank you for hanging in the studio, Bob. And big shout out to my wife, Cece, and little Nick. Nick went to his first drum lesson, first new drum lesson, new drummer. I mean, it's just the old guy was cool. Your boy is cool, but you can tell him that we have a new drummer guy. Sorry, he's closer. It's easier. Cece can take him in the things. You have to tell Dave.
I think we were confused.
Oh, we confused last time.
Right,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh no, you can't tell him. You don't even know.
I don't even know, man.
Okay, well, never mind. Who was it again? It was somebody else. Oh no. Oh, I know who it is. It's the guy from. It's Colin from fucking Dark Horse. That's who it is.
Oh.
He was one of. I don't know why I get you guys confused, but.
Oh.
You don't even play bass, do you?
I do play bass.
Oh, that's why I get you confused.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
That's it. 2 bass players, and you're both kind of like little guys who play bass. I can't, I'm
yeah.
bound to get you mixed up.
Right.
So, yeah, thanks for everybody for listening, and we'll see you next week. And thank you. I don't know what we're doing next week now. I have no idea. It's one of those mystery shows. You never know on the Adam Dunn Show. Peace.
Peace.